In my mind, worlds collide. Something inside me is gone. Still, I keep going on.
Hey, what is up guys? Three's Awesome here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be giving my reaction to this ranking every 3 Days Grace album video by the Geeky Comrade. I actually discovered this video in particular 2 years ago, so if we scroll down here, look! Who's that handsome little fella? Give him a little like, and maybe reply to him. What should we say? Hold on. Making video right now. Sorry, I'm a grandma, so I'll just reply to myself. 2 years later, that's actually kind of so bad. So I watched this video, 2 years ago, whenever I discovered it, and I believe these guys are still active. Take a look here. Pause that. I would check these guys out. These guys are pretty cool. Behind the scenes, ranking. Oh, there's more. There's more 3 Days Grace videos. If you guys like music, go check out the Geeky Comrade. They have 618 videos. That's dedication. There you go. If you want to read all that, find all of their stuff. I give these guys some love and support, as I am. See, I did watch this video earlier today at work on my break to kind of freshen myself up on. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched this a couple years ago. So I watched up to this point to kind of test. I also rewatched it kind of again to also test the audio, make sure the audio is not too loud, mainly their audio. So I don't remember everything they said in this video. I just know that they have some interesting takes about 3 Days Grace. And I am a huge 3 Days Grace fan. I love 3 Days Grace. I'm going to go see them this October. I cannot wait. My first ever concert. I am 28 years old. I've not been to a concert. I've been waiting to see 3 Days Grace for Saint Asonia, and now is like the best time possible because now Adam's back with the band. I think it's just for this tour and for this album. He might go back to Saint Asonia, but this is going to be a real treat to go experience 3 Days Grace with Matt Walston and Adam Gontier or Gontier at the helm once more, and my first ever concert. I can't wait. Thank you to my mom. Shout out to my mom for that. Really awesome for her. She came out of nowhere with that. Did not have that on my bingo card. So I am going to be reacting to this. I'm very passionate when it comes to 3 Days Grace, but that doesn't mean like. So here's my thing. It's their opinions, and that's it. At the end of the day, it's different opinions going around. I'm here just to have fun, and that's really what it is. I'm going to be really energetic. I'm in a really good mood for one. So I'm really energetic. I'm going to be energetic because I'm passionate about 3 Days Grace. But obviously, no harshness on them. No salt whatsoever. Like no bad vibes going to them. At the end of the day, it's music, and music is so hard to critique people's taste when it comes to music. Music is that universal thing that everyone has their own. They own their own like taste of their favorite flavor. I don't know how to really kind of word it at all. I had a really good analogy earlier today, but I already forgot it. I should have been let go a while ago, but I wasn't. So yeah, obviously, I'm having fun. So I might poke fun at them, but obviously no hate towards them whatsoever. And I do encourage you guys to go and subscribe. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe. I want more content from you, Geeky Comrade. I want more content. And once again, I can't stress it enough. Obviously I'm here to have fun. I'm going to be super energetic. I'm probably going to, over exaggerate in a few places just because I'm passionate about 3 Days Grace. And, all of this is just for fun anyway. All of this is for fun. I do want to try to defend, because they do say something. Here I want to kind of critique, if where possible in this video, on like some of their logic, and they're putting themselves out there and telling them like this is our take on 3 Days Grace. So I want to see if I can like analyze it, kind of critique it, and add my own flavor to this as well. And I imagine this is going to be a long one. This is about an hour-long video. I'm going to be pausing throughout, so it's possible that this is going to be over an hour or even longer. And I might record this over a span of 2 separate days. I'm not sure yet. Depends on how I feel. We might just... I will at least want to try to get past 1X, because 1X it gets really juicy. So I want to get there. So if the Geeky Comrade's watching, I hope you guys enjoy. Again, this is just mainly just to have fun. It's nothing too deep. It's really not deep at all. But I could get a little crazy, but nothing serious. Nothing serious to take away, really. It's all for fun. And I thought this would be, this was in the making. This was in the making for 2 years. 2 years. It's been in the making. So, all right, let's get it started. I'm going to let them... I'll interject throughout this entire video. That way it's completely fair use, of course. But I'm going to let them kind of explain away their little intro here. And then we get 3 Days Grace 2003, 1X, all the way to explosions, and they even talk about Saint Sonia at some point, and then final thoughts. So we'll do as much as we can. And, you're probably seeing this in July anyway, when I finally get around to finishing this video, if I decide that it's worthy enough to be uploaded in the first place. Okay, enough of that lengthy intro. Let's watch.
Hey, what's going on, guys? James here bringing you another YouTube video. I'm joined by...
Tyson, as always.
Hell yeah, finally brought that back. Okay.
Fuck yes.
So,
anyways.
And we're going to be doing not the 3 Days Grace retrospective like we promised back in 2018, but something in the spirit of that to finally say that we've done it.
And that we didn't lie.
Kind of lied, but
Exactly.
Either way, whatever.
But beside the point.
So this idea, we're going to be taking a look at all of the 3 Days Grace albums, probably minus Explosions, because he hasn't listened to it yet.
Work is a bitch.
Also, just noticed too, he has a Saint Sonia hat, and I must be a fake fan because I own no merch from either band.
But we'll look at Self-Titled to Outsider, the 6 albums there, give some thoughts, and put them in a ranking every single one there. This idea I'm totally ripping from another creator. Link in the description. Check it out. His videos are great. But yeah, so we're going to do that. We've got the tiers: Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, and Aluminum.
Aluminum being the worst.
Yeah. So we'll do that. And I don't really have anything else to say. So if you don't have anything to say, let's get into it. So obviously we should start with the self-titled 3 Days Grace record released in 2003. Obviously, lead single coming out of it, I Hate Everything About You. All other notable songs on there: Home, Just Like You, Wake Up, the bonus track Are You Ready, maybe. Scared, I think, is a good deep cut on there.
Did you say Burn?
I did not say Burn, the opener of the album.
Burn.
Drown has grown on me a lot.
Just Like You still...
Yeah, and like the self-titled 3 Days Grace record, I think is fine enough. I don't find myself going back to 3 Days Grace like at all anymore, as like I've kind of alluded to in the
A lot
past.
of 3 Days Grace just today, anyways.
So
Beside the point.
for me, they're nowhere near my favorite band anymore. I don't
Criminal.
come back to them really at all. But they do still have a special place in my heart, obviously. But yeah, so I do think it was it was a solid debut record. I don't think it's anywhere near their best. But again, there's good songs. I Hate Everything About You, despite being edgy as fuck.
So, they come back to this with a couple songs. Like some of it they say comes off as emo or edgy, or kind of just out of date, or just kind of like that doesn't like hold up well, didn't age very well. I Hate Everything About You. I don't see anything that's edgy about it, especially compared to today's music, and just I don't find it like too edgy. It literally doesn't even talk about anything too edgy for me. Like when you look at the lyrics, I hate everything about you. Why do I love you? There's a reason that's like one of their most popular songs, and I think it being edgy, I don't even think it's not even near an edgy song. And of course, earlier they were listing off some great songs from the self-titled album, and I don't know if they said Home. I think they did, but if they didn't, that's criminal because Home is a banger. Just Like You is a banger. Burn is a banger. What's another one? I Hear Everything About You, Just Like You, Burn, Home, Scared's good. So there are some forgettable tracks on the self-titled album. Like Overrated, I don't like Overrated. I do agree to some extent that, and they'll get back into it later here. I do agree that it's not their best album, but the place where they do put it in their their tier system here, I don't agree with at all because I think it's more the self-titled album is good and it's still a banger. It has way more good songs and memorable songs on there than a lot. I mean, how do I even want to put this? For me, I know I'm totally biased because I love 3 Days Grace. I mean, I do have some criticism towards, I do have criticism towards them, of course, especially when Matt Walston gets in. I love Matt Walston, but, Human, and we'll get to there, I have some strong opinions about Human. But I think the self-titled album, it's a banger. It has a lot of good songs on there, just like the top 5, really. Like Burn, one of the best openings to an album. Just Like You, I Hear Everything About You, Home, and then Scare. They're solid, but after that, then there's Let You Down, and then there's Born Like This, and then I think my favorite on the album, past Drowned, is Wake Up and Take Me Under. Take Me Under is just an underrated song, I think. It's one of those songs. Here's my thing with 3 Days Grace. 3 Days Grace just absolutely gets better with age. I don't care what anybody says about 3 Days Grace. It's when you're a teen and you're in that emo phase. I get it. It's just on surface level. It's emo. It's edgy. It's fuck you to the world. Fuck you. Fuck life and everything like that. But as you get older, you start listening to these songs, and once you can push like those memories of that emo phase away, the songs there's a lot of songs that I didn't like as a kid or even growing up that I love now. I think the song 1X speaks for itself as well. The song 1X it's one of those songs that snuck up on me as I got older. I'm like, wait, this song slaps. This song's good. Another song that I was just thinking about was Time of Dying. I mean, I'm like in my late 20s and we'll get to it later. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. But Time of Dying is growing on me as it is. It was a song that sounds cool, but I didn't really appreciate until now I'm a little older. So, but let's continue.
It's still honestly a banger.
Anyways.
They call it a banger, but it's weird because I feel like, because the years in Tier Maker, I use Tier Maker too, and this is somebody else's tier list, but it's just where they put some of these albums is where I disagree, like, the most. Like, if I were to critique anything, it's where they put these albums in.
So, yeah, I don't know. What do you got to say about self-titled?
Thank you. I thought you would never get to me. Anyways, self-titled album.
Also, I believe the deluxe version of the self-titled album comes with the acoustic versions of Drowned and I Hate Everything About You, which are solid. And of course, you get the track Are You Ready? Which is also a banger, sorry.
Album that I never really got into a lot when I first listened to it. Like James said, it's...
Same, honestly.
Yeah. It was like obviously, I Hate Everything About You. Like, if you check the song for song video, I chose it. The best song off the self-titled album. Not the point. Anyways. Listening to Wake Up, listening to it, like I said, I listened to a lot of 3 Days Grace today. Listening to Wake Up, now I realize, like, it's kind of dull.
So this is a weird... Like I said, this is all just opinions at the end of the day. And, like, I feel like it's hard for them to kind of describe, their opinion on Wake Up as it is for me. But I just can't look at Wake Up and be like, yeah, I agree. Like, when you look at the lyrics for Wake Up, and they'll talk here. Let me play a little bit more.
I wouldn't say, like,
I
boring.
I do kind of agree in a sense of, like, I don't necessarily think it's dull or boring.
It's missing that word. I can't think of the word right now.
I don't even know what word you're thinking of, honestly. I was going to say, I think Wake Up actually suffers from lyrically, it's not great, especially the line, "You're just not drunk enough to fuck."
See, I was waiting for him. I was ready to get to that. I should have paused it there before I interrupted. But here's my thing with "Wake Up," and especially that line. That's, you're not drunk enough to fuck. When you look at the song, like the lyrics are, "Wake up, pounding at the door. I'm not the man I was before. Where the hell are you when I need you?" So basically, oh man, I wish I just snapped my fingers and I was able to make the video while I was on my break, because now I'm starting to lose like my momentum of what I was thinking about. But "Wake Up" is the song that's kind of like about. So when you look at that line, "You're not drunk enough to fuck," that's not necessarily, because a lot of people nowadays are listening to that line. I knew somebody that listened to that and like, wow, that's kind of sickening, like it's kind of rapey, kind of. And I was like, no, it's not like that. It's not like the person, in the song is like getting someone drunk so they can fuck them. It's more like at the stage that that the two people are in, the singer, of course, the singer, which I guess is Adam. I guess so. Adam is in this position where, he's with somebody, and Adam is just so far gone as a person, or not far gone, but he's like such a dick, and he's with this person, and they're still together for some reason, and the only way they can tolerate each other is if they're drunk. So that's kind of where where that line kind of implements. It's not that it's one way. He's just getting him drunk, so that way they're just loopsy toopsy, then he can just fuck him. It's more on the line of that's the only way they can tolerate each other in that stage, and in that part, like we can only tolerate each other if we're drunk, and we're just not drunk enough to even fuck. It's basically like my impression and how I interpret it that way. "Wake up," and when you get to that part in the chorus where it's like, "Wake up, pounding on the door. I'm not the man I used to be before." Then it kind of comes back again, "I won't hurt you anymore." It's basically a song about you're acknowledging, or that you've become better. You've like made a full circle. You're making a full bounce back, and you're becoming better as a person. You're better than you were yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. And you're coming back to this person when you really need them, in a time of need. And it's basically you're saying that no, this is not like before, where everything was toxic, and we can only tolerate each other when we're drunk or high or this and that. This is different. I really need you right now. I really need a second chance here. Like, where are you? I'm like right at the, it's kind of, you see what I'm saying? It's like a song of kind of about reaching out for forgiveness and coming back from a bad place and kind of becoming a better person and going back to that person that you may have wronged. So that's how I interpret the song. And I mean, everyone interprets it differently. Adam probably wrote it in a different perspective. That's how I kind of interpret it to kind of defend it. And like, it's just like the lyrics are good. Like, I love the acoustic opening to the song, and then it gets to that hard, just that hard riff from the electric guitar, and then Adam's vocals, of course, and of course the song sounds amazing live too. It translates very well to live on stage. So that is my defense on "Wake Up." And like, again, when it kind of sounds dull or has dog shit lyrics, that to me is where I just completely disagree. Like, especially with the line, "You're just not drunk enough to fuck." It's not implying anything malicious. It's just that's the only time that they could tolerate each other is when they're shit faced or intoxicated in some way.
That you're just not drunk enough to fuck. All right.
Like,
didn't think we were bringing that up, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah, like, "Wake Up" lyrically isn't great, and honestly, like, I think the biggest issue I have with the self-titled is probably that, honestly, the same thing I have with the self-titled Saint Asonia record. I feel like all the songs just kind of give off the same vibe for the most part, and like, they don't really sound that unique.
So I'll give them this for the most part. So the self-titled record, for the most part, is one of those, how I judge how much I like a record, or at least one of the ways, is that can I listen to it from start to finish all the way through without skipping songs. Self-titled album, it starts out fucking strong. Like, it's Burn, Just Like You, I Hate Everything About You, Home, Scared. And then you get to Let You Down. And then it becomes Now or Never, Drowned, Born Like This. I don't think that's in order though, but I do kind of understand that what he's saying. I have that same criticism with, even though it's a really good album, I have that same criticism with Outsider. Like a lot of the songs are bangers on that record, but it becomes too uniform sounding. So I do agree. That's a very unflattering. Let me fix you real quick. Sorry, that doesn't help any better. But I do understand that because whenever I get to Now or Never, I'm kind of whatever, and then Born Like This is good. Drowned's okay. I'm kind of whatever on Drowned, but then you get to Wake Up, and then I perk back up again, and then you get Take Me Under, and then I'm like in love, and then we get to Overrated, and I'm like I can live without Overrated. If I had to choose a song to get rid of, it would be Overrated. And then if you have the deluxe album, then you get Are You Ready? And then the acoustic versions of the song, which are bangers. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that. And you know, they have a lot of good points in this video. This isn't like a dog shit video by any means. That is a good point. I do understand where he's coming with that. That, you know, some of the songs but the album starts off so strong. So strong. It's just when you get past Let You Down, that's when they kind of like fumbles a little bit, but then it peaks back up, and then you get to Overrated, and you're like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, and there's not really like a whole lot to kind of like grip you with it. Like the songs on there that are good, but
like it's hard for songs like back then. I guess it may have changed like now. Like a song that you can actually that grabs you and brings you into it, or into that sense, but.
Again, it's not a bad record.
No,
certainly not.
It's not their best not their best in any way, but it's a good something to start out with.
Yeah, it was a solid debut record, like I said earlier, and I do think like it's not their best, but it's also not their worst.
Yeah, it's not the best, not the worst. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, that album is trash. Like, fuck.
I mean, when you break it down, at least for my opinion, Now or Never, I guess I'll throw Born Like This in there. So Now or Never, Born Like This, Drown, and Overrated. There's only 4 songs on that record that I kind of just don't care about. And I think that's pretty good for like 12 songs on there. And of course, if you're talking about deluxe in this instance too, then you get Are You Ready? Then the acoustic version. So it's a really, really solid album. And even then, Now or Never, Born Like This, Drown, are not bad. They're nowhere near bad. I kind of just skip them. Overrated, won't say is necessarily bad either. I don't think there is such thing as a bad 3 Days Grace song for the most part, at least with Adam and some of the newer Matt songs. It's just Overrated for me on that record is really the weakest because... especially when you compare it, because that's the finisher song to the album. And normally 3 Days Grace, they come out with a banger of a song. Like Bird, Bitter Taste, and then you get to 1X, It's All Over. You know, they come out with a banger, and they sometimes end on a banger as well. And I would say Overrated is very just underwhelming, if you ask me.
We need to figure out a way to place it, unless you have more things to say about it right now.
I think we basically summed it up to the best. Now, if we can agree.
We also, obviously, it's not platinum. I don't think I'd say anything 3 Days Grace has put out is platinum.
So, this is another part of the video where I remember watching it 2 years ago, and I was like, what do you mean none of the 3 Days Grace are platinum? And they're going to say later in this video that 1X is the magnum opus of, you know, like that's like their best album. That's like they're considered their best album. I think you just need to just put it in platinum anyway, because 3 Days Grace, that's their peak. That is their platinum record. I think that record did hit platinum anyway. That's like, I mean, of course, I'm looking at this through, see, when was this video released? It just says 2 years ago. So 2023 is when this video roughly came out. Maybe even 2022, just late 2022. So obviously they're looking back through, you know, years later, and you know, music tastes have changed by that point too. So I understand how they're they're trying to look at this through an unbiased and, you know, objective lens, and especially all these years later, since a lot of these albums are over 20 years old. So I understand that. It's just, I feel like, because, spoiler alert, in this video, they don't put anything in platinum, and I think that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, they clearly, that's their magnum opus. Just put their magnum opus and platinum, because that's clearly their best record. And clearly it's a high gold, obviously, but this is just, it's just really weird. It's just, I guess it might be a weird nitpicking on my part, but I always found this just to be a very bizarre, like, this was a very bizarre just decision that they made, where just not one of the albums, not even considered their best album, not any of their personal favorite albums make it into the platinum tier. Even if they are looking at this through an objective lens, objectively, their best album is a platinum album, so it should just go in the platinum tier. Because that way, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, as I'm saying, I'm having an epiphany, because it's like they are throwing their own personal bias in here as well. And they're also trying to be objective at the same time, and it's kind of pick a lane. Or maybe I'm misinterpreting it, and I probably am. But I just think that's just an absolute weird, just something that it always rubbed me the wrong way. Not like so badly where I'm insulted, it's just why? Like, why is none of their albums considered platinum? Anyway.
Tier, honestly.
Yeah.
We're going to disagree. We'll get to it later. It's also not a gold tier record.
Okay, so...
But why is it not a gold tier record? That's what I don't understand, too. Because obviously they got... Their lowest is aluminum, and then it's bronze, gold, silver, gold, and then it's platinum. So you got 5 tiers total. So why... If you're not going to put it in gold, that's fair. Why is it bronze? This is nowhere near, especially with Adam as the lead. This is nowhere near like anywhere. It's nowhere near aluminum. That in my opinion, like especially with the tier ranking videos, like with the tier lists, the tier structure. When you put anything that's pretty much good near like the bottom like that, it's like alarms start going off. It's like, wait, why? Like, why? Like, even if it is bronze, it's pretty close to aluminum, like the lowest tier that they have. To like, I would say it's silver. I would say it's a silver, and I'm sure they'll probably get into more detail with other albums too, and why those ones are silver and gold. But to me, like putting the self-titled album in bronze is kind of criminal. It's absolutely criminal.
I would probably put the self-titled.
I'm thinking in my
Oh, I just spoiled it too. They put it in bronze.
personal opinion,
I would
I'm
put
gonna
it
say-
either... Go ahead.
You want to do a 3, 2, 1 and say it at the same time?
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Bronze.
It just doesn't. Why? Like that's like it's too close to aluminum. It's nowhere. It's not. I just disagree. Flat out disagree. This is nowhere near a bronze album. No, it's not. I can't be changed. My mind can't be changed. I'm stuck in my ways for sure on this one. But it's silver. See, this is why like it doesn't make sense to not put an album in platinum, because clearly, technically, I think they both agree on that 1X is their best album. Put it in platinum. Because otherwise, we don't need to have platinum in here. I know this is somebody else. Somebody else made this and not them, but still. This, putting the self-titled album in bronze is just, it's criminal. It's criminal. I don't know. I just so disagree. I so disagree with the decision.
Coming out of the self-titled, they toured that album. Adam would obviously have his very, very obvious issues with addictions and battling his demons, and that led us to 3 years later, 2006, what people still to this day say is their magnum opus.
The absolute magnum opus.
Their best record, 1X.
Yep. I also really base that they're using the deluxe album. Also, love The Room. It's a very early 2000s vibe to me. Like, does anyone stack their DVDs, movies, and games like this? Does anyone, like, what's that one? What's that one? Yeah, this is very early 2000s room. I love it.
I'm starting this off. Alright, where do we start with 1X? 1X, in my opinion, is, if not the best album they came out with.
Based.
Especially with Adam. But
Based.
maybe it could change now that Adam left and Matt came in. But as Adam was going through his addiction and battling his demons, this album just blended in with that. All the songs that came out just agreed, like with Pain, with Animal I've Become, Never Too Late, over and over. It's all over, like, and Time of Dying too. Anyways, might have missed a couple. Obviously,
Yeah.
Your favorite being 1X, the actual song 1X.
Yeah.
Get Out Alive, Gone,
Never Too Late.
Gone Forever. I did say Never Too Late, but Gone Forever.
Let It Die. On My Own.
I'm gonna say
The entire 1X album is just God tier. Every song on there is gold. It's not like self-titled where there's a song. This is the album that we can listen to front to back.
say this now. Like, I could be just biased, but
And it's based.
Gone Forever is in my opinion, the best song ever created.
Fuck, cooking, king, cook, keep cooking. Keep cooking, please.
By
Let him cook.
not only 3 Days Grace or Adam Gontier himself. But
Yep, based.
I freaking love that song. Got me through some times. Not getting into that. But
Not
1X.
for the video.
This is probably what I'm going to pause it the most. Not going to lie.
Not for the video. I'm here to justify. And
Yeah.
1X is just, man. Can't even put into words.
It's a very solid record. I mean,
Yes.
they left the more post-grungy hard rock side of things from the self-titled record and went in a more, like, harder leaning alt rock side with 1X, I think.
Kind of
And-
seemed like it wasn't like depressing-ish, but could tell it was like
I would say it is, but not like, it's depressing, but not like emo level depressing.
no, not like emo. No. It like it gives that vibe of depressing. I mean,
Which, by the way, I do love emo, for the record, but yeah.
who doesn't love emo? Anyways, beside the point.
And like, again, I do think it's a very solid record, but the
So I was trying to find a good place to pause it there, but they are saying that the album is depressing, but not like emo level of depressing. And I think they might come back to that later, and I think they say that, or at least I don't know this gentleman's name, the one on the left here. That's actually a very unflattering. I'm sorry, I paused you there. I wanna
more
release you.
time I've both come back to it and
Okay. So I would say that because I'm so passionate with 3 Days Grace and when it comes to at least one, and also with 1X as well, I'm going to say that, and they might destroy my point that I'm making here. I haven't seen this in a while. I do believe they come back to it and say that that record doesn't hold up kind of to this day because it's depressing, or it had some level of depressing. And like I said, not the same level of depressing as, emo rock or emo songs, like really hardcore emo. But I'm going to say that that 1X is not even depressing. Nothing about any song really, for the most part, is depressing. Maybe besides Over and Over, but at the same time, how I view the 1X and as an album as a whole is that they're acknowledging the whole. How do I put this? See, I should have just quit, left my job, and just came and made this video. But it's just more like this. The album itself is acknowledging the shittiness of the world, or the circumstances that they're in, and blah blah blah. It's not depressing. It's acknowledging that life is shit and carrying forward and moving on. It's very an upbeat album, if you ask me. Look at Never Too Late. Obviously, Never Too Late. It's you're feeling low, you want to kill yourself. But keep going because it's never too late. It's never too late to change your life. Animal I Become. The lyrics are, so what if you can see the darkest side of me? He's saying, so what if I'm an animal? So what if no one can change the animal I've become? It's the singer and all of these songs are acknowledging their situation or that life is shit, and they're acknowledging it, and then they're going up from that point, from whatever they're in. Like, you can't. This is how I break it down. Life is not enjoyable without its downs. It's really easier said than done to say that, but it is a very true acknowledgement in life where your highs are only high because you have your lowest lows, because you do have bad days. Your good days are only measured because you have bad days and stuff. I kind of view this viewpoint when it comes to working, because there was a time where I was unemployed for 2 months and I was losing my mind. I wasn't enjoying myself because, to me, I can never stop working. I just don't know. I don't see myself ever retiring, and it's because we're going to work 5 days of the week are what make home so worth it to me. Like, you can't, like, work is not valuable unless I have a home to go to, but home is not valuable if I don't have a way to sustain myself, So, like, going to work has meaning because I have a home to go to, but home is only meaningful because I go to work. If I was home all the time, I would take it for granted, and that's just kind of how I view life as well, because, like I said, you only enjoy your good days because we have our bad days to compare them to. We have bad days. We have, like, periods where it's nothing but bad. And then, like, when we have those days where they're actually genuinely good, life is worth living at that point. And that is, to me, what 1X is trying to convey. It's that I'll take a breath here. It's like, yeah, I'm standing here on my own, remembering the ones I left alone. It's owning it. It's owning the situation that the singer is in. Also, pain. Pain is not an emo song. It's not talking about physical pain that, like, a lot of people growing up thought it was when they were in that phase where they were self-harming, like with a physical blade and stuff. It's more about, I'd rather feel pain than be numb and miserable. Like, pain means that you're alive. And then when you don't have pain, like, it's the same thing. Like, with pain, we enjoy life because we go through pain and stuff like that. And that's what makes life so enjoyable, is that the struggle. It's like another thing. I always get asked to, like, would I become a billionaire? Like, would you be a billionaire? And I always say no. Like, when it comes to money, like, one is enough ever enough, And to me, like, if I was just gifted $1 billion or even more than just $1 billion, it's basically living life with cheat. Like, have you ever played a game with cheat codes? Like, it gets boring. Like, you have fun for maybe an hour with the cheat codes and you go beat the hardest boss in the game or something like that. But after a while, it's just boring because the struggle isn't there. The challenge isn't there. So I always tell them, like, a certain amount of money is good enough for me. Like, I do have, like, a metric where it is enough and stuff like that. But I would never want to be a billionaire because I would just be bored and don't want to be any more struggles anymore. It's like the struggles and the challenges we face is what makes life so satisfying. And that's, again, what 1X is talking about. Like, let it die. If the guy's acknowledging, like, hey, I didn't let this die. I really just don't care about you anymore. Or like, Over and Over is really the most depressing sounding song. But even then, as sad as it is, and that's also my favorite song on the record, as sad as it sounds and how just depressing of a situation it is, he's acknowledging it. And that is how you get better as a person. Like, when you're in a bad habit or a bad cycle, oftentimes, acknowledging it is the first step into recovery. Like, once you acknowledge it and then once it's acknowledgement, acceptance, and then it's action. At least I don't think that's, like, the right, universal saying for it, but that's how I view it. Like, when you acknowledge something, when you acknowledge that you're in shit, that's the first step into improving. That's the first step into recovery. That's just the first step, is acknowledging the situation and not denying it no more. So yeah, he's in the cycle of falling for the drug or the person or the alcohol over and over and over again. But now that he's acknowledged it, he's taken that first step into getting better. Even songs like 1X too, and that's another song that grew on me as I got older, because, like, it means so much more to me now as an adult. And Even that song is like, you know, like we are the ones. We get knocked down, but we get right the fuck back up. Gone Forever. Gone Forever is a song about I'm glad that you're gone forever. I don't care about you. You like you don't affect me no more. Like you're fucking gone forever. It's a statement. It's acknowledging reality and its acceptance of the reality as well, and that you're better. Time and Dying as well. Time and Dying is so much about the song has grown with me as well because I'm getting really ahead of myself here, but you know I'll stop for now. I'll get to Time and Dying when we get there. But you kind of see what I'm saying. Like 1X is not depressing. It's an album that talks about just accepting for things for what they are and then taking that first step, or you have already reached that, you already reached a final step, then you've recovered. And like some songs talk about like Gone Forever being you're triumphant because you're happy. You're at that stage where you're happy they're gone. You're happy whatever it is gone. Anyway.
Walked away from it. The more times pass, I just don't think it holds up anywhere near as anyone thinks that it does.
No, it does. At least in my opinion, it does. It does. I already rambled enough.
I mean, for example, Tyson's even said for years now, like, he doesn't care for It's All Over as a track, and I disagree with him on that.
It's All Over. Once again, it comes down to personal like taste, but for me, It's All Over. It's the song itself. Like all the songs are technically like no matter what anyone says, they're all well made music. Like the rhythm, the notes, the guitar, the drums, all everyone. It's all top tier performance. It's All Over. You know, not just just to kind of get away from the meaning. Like it sounds brutal as fuck in the best way possible. It's just it shreds. It's All Over fucking shreds meat, man. That song gets straight to the point. It sounds brutal. It sounds like up in your face and stuff. I love It's All Over. And then the song itself, once again, the person who is singing is acknowledging that this other person is just fucking themselves. They're giving them they're driving themselves into an early grave, and they're acknowledging that, hey, dude, it's all over for you. Like you're done. It's over. Like you're doing this to yourself, man. It's one of those and I've been in situations like that too as an adult. And I've been in situations where I have a person in my life and like they don't listen to reasoning, they don't listen to anything, and they're just driving themselves into a hole. And then I've come to a point where I'm in this really weird bind where it sucks, but I have to acknowledge that I have to, in some brutal cases, you have to cut them out because they're just, while they're destroying themselves, they're also bringing you down too. So it's just like, you know what, dude, it's all over. It's all over for you. It's done.
But
Hey,
it's nowhere near the
I didn't
weakest.
say Get Out Alive, though.
It's nowhere near the best track on the record.
I would disagree. It's one of the best tracks on the record.
I mean,
I couldn't even...
Get Out Alive, personally, I like it, but I've always felt like it doesn't necessarily feel like a 3 Days Grace track to me, personally.
This is I can't really dispute that because that just comes down to his own personal taste and his view of the song. But Get Out Alive, it's just one of their most iconic songs, and I don't know why either. It's just it's a total vibe. It's like it's a huge vibe. Just the opening, just doom 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 doom. It's just that song's a total vibe. It kicks so much ass, but it's kind of a slow song, but it kicks all of the ass. It straight up, just right in front of your face, like in your face. It's like, if you want to get alive, just run for it. I don't know. It just kicks all the ass in the world. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, I don't know. It kicks ass. I don't know what else to say.
No.
I mean, Gone Forever is good. I like 1X. Never Too Late is obviously never too late.
Never too late.
But, like, the singles for the record, Animal I Become, Pain, I don't really care for anymore. I fucking hate Riot.
Based on Riot. I hate Riot, but not for the same reasons he probably does. Like I said, I think all the songs are technically well made. Like, Riot's a really badass, just like, pump up song. Like, let's get out there and let's start a riot. A riot. Let's start. It's just, it's in your face. It's awesome. It's upbeat. It's great workout music. It's great just like hype music. It's awesome. You know, the riffs and just Adam's vocals and stuff. Like it kicks all the ass. But like I hate it because growing up as a 3 Days Grace fan, I knew nobody else that liked 3 Days Grace, or at least people like tolerated it. Or I don't know. I grew up in a weird community where people like punk, country, or different bands, but a lot of people didn't listen to Sum 41, Brink and Benjamin. Some people listened to Linkin Park, and nobody I knew listened to 3 Days Grace. I was the only one. And whenever I did find people that have listened to 3 Days Grace before, like I'll be like, okay, I hear everything about you. Oh, you know that rings a bell, just like you. Yeah, I think so. And what become? Oh, that was them. And I'll be like, Riot, and they would light up. Oh my God, Riot is fucking awesome. Let's start a riot. I love that song. Out of all the bangers that 3 Days Grace has, fucking everyone that I knew only recognized them for Riot. And I have to say, it is an overrated song. It is overrated. Out of all the songs that back in the day to be used in fighting games and stuff like that, it was always fucking Riot. None of the other songs. I don't know. But like I said, Riot, it's a genius song. It's genius. There's a reason. But like out of all the songs, just everyone only knew 3 Days Grace because of fucking Riot. Nothing else. So that's why I hate Riot. I just think it's overrated, and just growing up it always frustrated me. I even had a guy I was friends with him. He was passionate to tell me how much he hated 3 Days Grace each and every day. That was exhausting just by itself, but he would tell me like, I like Riot. Oh, wow, that's cool. We have a common interest. I don't like the song. I think the song's dog shit, but I do like the lyrics. What the fuck? What does that even mean? Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand that too, because I like the lyrics to Wrecking Ball, the Miley Cyrus song, but I don't like the song itself. So I do get that point, but man, that guy just was never satisfied by any 3 Days Grace song. I don't know.
I'll be blunt. I fucking hate Riot as a song.
Based.
And I have for years.
Bass, cooking, cook.
We're gonna have to talk about our friendship. Not the point. Different video.
Again, Let It Die, On My Own. I feel like they're both kind of forgettable.
Oh man, just disagree. On My Own, standing on my own. Like, it's such a banger. And Let It Die too. I love when 3 Days Grace they do acoustic and then they switch to electric guitar, or when it's just all acoustic. I would even argue that when they get the Time of Dying would actually be a really, really good acoustic song. But Let It Die is just like dun dun dun. Yeah, it's sick. No, Let It Die is just. Oh man, it's another song too that kind of came relevant like a few years ago. It kind of crept up on me out of nowhere. I'm like, wow, I fucking love this song because it's just so relatable to me right now. It's like 3 Days Grace. It gets better with age, at least for me, in my opinion. Like 3 Days Grace, I loved them growing up, but I love them more now as an adult because a lot of their songs are more meaningful to me now.
Over and Over is a solid deep cut from the record.
You are.
Over and Over, is that even a deep cut? Over and Over is such a fucking good song. I relate to that song into my relationship with depression. I know Adam wrote it and that he was just falling for drugs over and over again and he couldn't get away from it. But for me, I relate to it in the same way with depression. Like, I've been in so many phases with depression where it's like I would get over it, but then I would always fall back into it. I just couldn't get over it. And whenever I would live my life and without depression, I would feel numb because like I was so used to feeling. I mean, I still have depression now, but it's not nearly as bad as it was, even a year ago. But like Over and Over is a deep cut for me because even now when I listen to it, I still cry because a lot of those memories and those feelings I have for depression is still there. I relate to it as, there would be days where I would just kind of like not be depressed, but I would be so fucking numb. I would be so just over life, and I'd rather just be in pain. Kind of going back to like the whole pain song, and I would fall back into this spiral over and over again. No matter what I did, I'd always it's like when you're like people who deal with depression, sometimes you get so used to it that when you feel anything other than those feelings that come with depression, like depression's a feeling in itself, but it has little friends too that come that kind of that tag along too, and it's like you get so used to it. So when you start living life without it, you kind of freak yourself out, and you're like, whoa, like you kind of get scared that things are just gonna fall apart, and then you're gonna go right back into that pit again, that pit of pain, and then you end up just kind of psyching yourself out, and you fall into it. You kind of jinx yourself into it anyway. So it's just like, God, like Over and Over is just such a powerful song. It's just so powerful to me, and it has so much meaning to me. It's just, even now, like, I still feel that way about those old negative feelings, or lack thereof, because a lot of times it was just numbness. A lot of times it was just kind of like there wasn't very much color in life dealing with it as powerful and as ruthless as depression was for me a year ago, where I almost did take my life. It was a spiral, and no matter what I did, and at the end of the two, I wanted to be depressed too, because there was, at that point, life had no meaning to me, and life, I feel like I just didn't belong anymore, and I wanted to remain in that place, so I could end it all and didn't feel justified about it. And that's why Over and Over to me is just, it's powerful, man. Listen to that song through a different lens, through my lens, and it'll change you. It'll change your perception of Over and Over. It's not a breakup song. It's a song about getting over some really just deep shit.
Personally attacking me, and it's hurting me.
Time of Dying, musically, I think is good. Lyrically, it's kind of shit.
So I would have to disagree, because I don't really... Time of Dying's kind of creeping up on me now, and like I'm starting to appreciate more as a song now. But I would say that it would fit better as an acoustic than a rock song. I think it should have been an acoustic song rather than a hard rock song or an electric guitar song, or however you want to put it. But the lyrics are really good, especially now as a 28-year-old, and I wasted 8 years of my life at a pizza place. Like, graduated high school, and like 2 weeks before I graduated high school, I got this job at this pizza place, and I've remained there ever since graduation. And when Time of Dying is relevant to me because, did I waste my time? It's kind of like a song about, like, time. Like, on this bed I lay, losing everything. Was it enough, or was it not enough? Wake me up and living a nightmare. It kind of harkens to, was the time that I wasted at that place, like, was it worth my time? Was there meaning? Like, it's a song kind of like about how I interpret it, at least. It's like about meaning. Like, so for me too, it's like, was the time that I'm 28 now, and time for me is moving so much faster, and I'm starting to realize, like, that old saying that, like, it's a short life. It's true. It's absolutely true. Before I know it, I'm going to be in my 40s, and then I'm going to be ancient to a lot of younger people, but at the same time, I'm still me. I'm still the same me from, 13 years old, jamming out the 3 Days Grace. I'm still that kid. And my life, they say, you can live up to 100 years old. So technically, I'm like, still got 6 years ahead of me. I'm still young. But, at the same time, I'm not. I'm getting older. And, that's where kind of Time of Dying kind of becomes relevant to me, because it's like, did I waste my time doing just meaningless shit, working on a meaningless job? Like, is this my time of dying? Like, in my time of dying, when I reflect on everything, like, am I going to be satisfied with the time I spent in life? I don't know. It's deep. It's deep. And it just gets better with age. It really does.
Honestly,
You want to just say that my life is shit? You want to just say that? Like,
I mean, I say that about my life.
I can
You say that about
like,
your life.
Okay, I can understand Time of Dying. I can understand that. But when you diss Riot, my guy, Riot is a...
Riot's overrated. It is a good song, but it's overrated as fuck. That's why I don't hate it, but I'll get on the bandwagon. If there's a hate wagon for that, I'll be in that bandwagon just for funs because it kind of deserves to be knocked off a pedestal.
Amazing.
I don't like Riot. And I have not for years, to be completely honest with you.
Later in the video, you'll understand.
Yeah, we're going to disagree later.
Oh,
we'll disagree now. Again, in saying that, I don't think it's their best record.
It's okay. That's a personal opinion. It's a personal opinion, but it is their best record. Every song's a banger, though. Every single. And then you get the deluxe version. Then now you have a Wicked Game, like a cover of Wicked Game. That's awesome. And then Running Away. Running Away is also a really great track. A really great track as well. Ah, damn it, man. Damn it.
But it...
Oh, I also have to say, too, 1X has the best album cover of all the albums. Just far none.
Still, in my head, their most consistent record. And I think it's still, like, easily, like, top 2 for me.
Like, I'm thinking
I just don't
right
think
now,
it holds up as well.
I'm thinking right now,
That's not based.
like, based off what you said and based off what I said, I have my answer of where to put this. If we
Platinum.
may disagree, we probably will, but...
I fucking disagree. I disagree personally.
I mean,
do you have an answer?
Yeah,
Are you ready to justify and announce the answer? On
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Okay.
we're going to do 3, 2, 1 again?
Ready?
Brace yourself for the cringe.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Gold.
It's clear. I mean, I'll take gold, but it's platinum. I'm sorry. It's peak. I feel like this next album, Alienation, is going to top. It could be another platinum for me. But fuck.
Are you reading my fucking mind right now?
Nope.
God damn. 'Cause I know you were. I know I don't want to put it platinum.
Yeah, again,
And silver's too low.
I've said it before. I don't think they have a platinum record.
They do. They fucking do. They do. They do. They do. They do. Oh no. Oh, I hate this. That's the part where I just oh man, that they've peaked before. 1X is their peak. That is their peak. Fuck. Damn it.
I don't think they do either, but they're gonna obviously be a gold. And 1X, I don't know. Maybe we'll justify it later. Maybe I'll say it. I don't know if I can think of another gold one, but I could.
I mean,
be wrong.
I can,
I
but
couldn't. Yeah, I already know what you're thinking. But anyways, that's different.
you think you know what I was thinking.
That's probably true. Like,
Regardless, yeah, 1X, like I said, it's still, again, like I said, I don't think it holds up anywhere near as anyone wants to think that it does.
It does though. It does. It does. It does. It does. I already explained it. It's every song's a banger, and it gets better with age. It seriously gets better with age. It's one of those 3 Days Grace is just that band where it just the songs mature with you. It's so good. 1X is just so good. It's all over. Pain and What Become, Never Too Late, On My Own, Let It Die, Get Out Alive, Over and Over, Time of Dying, Gone Forever, 1X. They're all just such top tier songs. That is just fuck, man. No, it holds up. It does. I truly think it does. I truly think it does. It still holds up, and it will forever continue to hold up as time goes on.
But I do still think it's their most consistent, and it's probably the best they've sounded. I mean, there's one other record from them that I think is personally better, that I can listen to at any point and come back to at any point. But I also know that that record, when we get to it, is their most divisive record that they've ever put out as a band. We'll get to it. But yeah, so we both collectively agreed for the time being,
it is always
it's gold.
1X. An album itself will always hold a special place.
Yeah.
In my heart and soul.
To get himself cleaned up a little bit, they started touring 1X. They did the amazing Live at the Palace show in 2008. And a year later, they brought us Life Starts Now. in my opinion, Life is Now very interesting because I feel like it's a continuation in a way of not Never Too Late, of 1X.
I agree, and we'll get to that here in a bit.
Never too late.
Of 1X. I think it's a bit of a continuation there where I get the same kind of vibes, but instead of knowing that it's about Adam going through his drug addiction, Life Starts Now to me feels a bit more like it's focused on relationships instead, which you could say about 1X, you could apply to that, but I feel like Life Starts Now is focused more on that. Especially with like of course, Last to Know. It's a great piano-led song. My favorite track from the band ever, Lost in You. Love that song.
Holy fuck, we can agree on something? Okay, it's not my favorite, but I obviously love it.
I do like someone who, I think it's Someone Who Cared. I like the title track again, Life Starts Now. World So Cold is great, and kind of like a continuation of Never Too Late. That same kind of vibe.
I swear to God, you say Good Life.
Good Life is okay.
Okay, as long as you don't say it. Last to Know is like... I feel like Last to Know is like could belong in almost in 1X.
Okay, I think that's a good place to pause it. I was kind of letting him talk to kind of see if there was like a better place to pause it. I just hate to pause it if I cover a point and then later they talk about that. I'm like, fuck, I should have just waited. But I agree that Life Starts Now is basically a continuation of 1X. It's basically a spiritual successor to 1X, like a part 2, but also not really. And the way I kind of view Life Starts Now, as I said, that 1X was a kind of like not really a depressing album. It was more just like, analyzing the situation, and analyzing it, and then, kind of later conquering it. I view Life Starts Now as a hybrid, as it's both like, take control of the situation, acknowledge it, and own it, and climb back up. And then the other half of Life Starts Now is very depressing, or it kind of seems very more somber than 1X, and there is a very heavy focus on seemingly the theme of relationships. The band did say there's a video out there you can watch kind of promoting the album, kind of like a behind the scenes on the album, saying that leading up to this album or the year of making it, that the band members faced a lot of hardships in their personal lives, more than usual in the last 5 years, as they said, during that time. So there probably was some complicatedness about relationships, and it's probably talking about all types of relationships, like when it comes to a significant other, friends, a family member, just anything. Relationships are life's very complicated. It's a very complicated mess when you think about it. Some relationships are straightforward. Some of them are, more stronger than others. Some of them are more unique. Relationships are very complicated, and I think that's another reason why they're so heavily implemented in this. Maybe because the band members did face a lot of hardships when it comes to relationships in their personal lives, with all kinds of different people. Because, relationships are kind of messy, and a lot of, when it comes to romantic relationships, when it comes to, beneficial relationships, the benefits ones, that relationships, whether it's just a sexual relationship, whether it's friends, whether it's families, coworker, relationships are just, they're messy sometimes. They're complicated. They're very complicated. Even maybe the more simpler ones, they're hard. And I think that's what the album focuses on, is that relationships can make life a little harder. They make life a little bit more complicated. I mean, one of the reasons why I push myself so hard is because I got people in my life that I don't want to let down, and they push me forward, and that sometimes can put me in a very hard bind sometimes. So Life Starts Now for me is basically kind of 1X. It's dealing with that next step and kind of recovering, or maybe not. Like Life Starts Now is a mix of different attributes, I think. mainly just more like when it focuses on the downs in life, it really focuses on the downs. Like when someone leaves your life, that can leave you in a shell with no soul. And sometimes you want a bit of that good life. Sometimes someone's got a real puts a really nasty taste in your mouth. Sometimes you really do just need to break away from everybody, and sometimes you were the last to know on something very important. Not to sound cheesy or anything, but it's true. A lot of that stuff happens. A lot of stuff, some of that stuff happened to me, where it's just, it all comes down to relationships. Sometimes, relationships. Sometimes they bring in the lowest lows, but sometimes they bring in the highest highs as well. And I think that's what life starts now really brings out is just relationships. The strengths and the weaknesses of having them with everybody. But yeah, let's get on with the video. He did say that The Good Life was okay. The Good Life is awesome. It's a really good song, but it just comes down to personal preference.
It gave off that little, like, sad vibe.
I mean, I feel like the entire thing, again, like, they give off the same vibes to me, and they always have.
Also, talking about Last to Know as well. Last to Know is an epic song, and I do like how it's very, like, she just walked away from me and everything sucks right now. I was last to know about it. And then it comes to the ending where, like, it's more upbeat and it changes. Like, the whole message of the song changes, and it's like, I've opened my eyes and this was my worst love. And I think everyone goes through that where they kind of realize that they deserve better. And, like, the pain that they had to go through was necessary.
Yeah.
Bully is okay.
Bully is fantastic. Bully, I think I like Bully more than Riot. Like, Bully is my Riot, basically, where it's like, it's a song, like, when it comes on, sometimes I want to skip it, but sometimes it's just like, nah, man. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, the song's kind of dumb, but at the same time, it's well made, and it's just kind of sounds really kick-ass. Like, blame the family, blame it on me. That's it. It's just, it's dope. I like it. It is, I guess in the sense it is okay, but I like it more than Riot. That's my Riot right there.
Bully's an interesting thing.
I like No More Without You. I don't care for Bitter Taste. I've grown, though, as some people might know.
Bitter Taste is freaking amazing.
I don't care for it, but it is not a bad song.
Oh,
And
I feel like something bad's coming.
nothing bad's really coming from me. So, me with Lights Are Now, okay, I don't think it's as consistent as a record as 1X, but I think it does hold up a little bit better, and its highs, I think, are higher than 1X's highs, personally.
I mean, when I'm looking at the album, so you got Bitter Taste, you got Break, you got World So Cold, you have Lost in You, The Good Life, let's see, No More, Last to Know, and then Someone Who Cares. For me, Last to Know is a banger, No More is a banger. Like, the top 7, the first opening 7, are bangers. Someone Who Cares, I really liked it as a kid or a teen, and growing up I kind of grew out of it. It's still a kick-ass song. But I find myself just not really, it's good, but I find myself kind of skipping it. I start skipping songs and Life Starts Now when you start getting to like I skip Going Down. I don't really enjoy Going Down. Life Starts Now is a banger. Without You's a banger. I like Bully. Bully's good. It's really just Going Down and kind of Someone Who Cares where I'm like, eh. So overall, like maybe 2 weak songs on the entire record. Sometimes I'll skip Bitter Taste as well. But Bitter Taste is really, it's a good song. I think it's a good like opening song for a cover, keeping that tradition where their opening song's really good. I think It's All Over is a better version of Bitter Taste. But at the same time, the songs talk about, like, that bitter taste is kind of washed out. They kind of gotten over it. So typically, Bitter Taste is a sequel to It's All Over. Because now it's just like, yeah, just a bitter taste. It's kind of a spiritual successor to It's All Over.
I thought you were going to diss Break. That's what I thought I was coming.
I forgot Break was on that record.
Get out.
Break's fine. I have no problem with Break.
Break is dope. Break is dope. Break away from it. It's sick. It's so sick. It's good. It's so good. I mean, I saw some people say, like, oh, it's totally about getting high. It's totally about... Just because it says, get yourself to higher places, like, of course people are going to make that connection. Everyone wants, at least most everyone wants songs to be about just breaking out a joint and just getting high. I don't relate to stuff like that. Break to me is just literally just as it sounds, like, I need a fucking break from people. I need a break from life. I need a break from just literally everything. Because there's been parts of my life where I was hanging out with a bad crowd or some toxic people, then comes to a point where it's like I need to change. Like, I need to change desperately.
Okay, like Break's a good song. Like, I just don't think it's one of the top songs on the record.
You ready for me to give my opinion?
Go for it.
First off, fuck off. Anyways,
What?
dare. Anyways, so like you
Damn.
said, you feel like it's
Kind of base though.
kind of like based on relationships and not on Adam's addiction. Now that he got cleaned up.
I think it's still some there, because obviously we know
But-
Adam was still battling his addictions into Saint Asonia. But
Oh yeah, obviously, but I kind of agree a little bit with the relationship part because there's a lot of, especially Last to Know. If
Yeah.
you think about it, like that's why I think Last to Know belonged in 1X because of how like upsetting and like I wouldn't say sappy, but kind of sad and that not emo obviously, but depressing kind of.
But I see, like, I should have just saved my points for later in the video. It's just I just don't view 1X as a very like any of the songs in there depressing or any of that same like vibe. A lot of them are it's upbeat and like it's very like it expresses itself of being like more hopeful and upbeat songs in a very weird way. Like, not everyone, like, there's some people in the world, like, I've known some people like this that like express themselves in very strange ways. That's kind of how I view 1X, where it kind of gives off a vibe of it like these songs on this record are depressing, but they're not. Like, they're very just much, like I said, never too late. Like, it's never too late to change your life. Don't end anything. Pain, can't live in this world without pain. Like, savor it. Remember the pain. That way, pain reminds us that we're alive. Pain reminds us of that there is satisfaction in victory. There's satisfaction in overcoming, painful situations and obstacles. It's all over is, basically kind of cutting people out that are just toxic to you, that are destroying themselves, and you just kind of let them destroy themselves, and you just kind of own that very awkward and shitty situation that you might be in. On my own, it's very much I'm standing on my own. Remember the one I used to know. Like, yeah, it's shitty. Like, a lot of the songs, 3 Days Grace, they said this before, and they stay true to this, where they write real feelings. Adam has said before that he necessarily can't write about things that, like good things like that he enjoys. He has to write about things that pisses him off. Like, I know I'm kind of butchering that quote, but it's just kind of what it is. Like, 3 Days Grace kind of just acknowledges a lot of the times the shitty things in life, because it's the shitty things in life that make the good things like so satisfying and worth fighting for, worth living for and stuff like that. And that's what 1X to me is just all about. It's acknowledging all those shitty situations and overcoming them, or acknowledging them and getting ready to fight them head on. Like I said, acknowledging the realities, to me, the first step in recovery. And that's very much what 1X is. It's acknowledging certain feelings, or it's, you've reached your destination, you fully healed, and now you can acknowledge that this toxic thing is gone forever. Stuff like that. It's very much, that's just what it is. I don't really know what's to go on here. Life Starts Now arguably is, I would say, more depressing-ish in some aspects, where it acknowledges, it's super acknowledging the complications and the lows of life. It's a very hybrid album, like, so to speak.
Stature, but
low key, honestly, I think Last to Know, it's not emo, but I think lyrically it could fit in there a little bit.
Oh yeah, if you listen to it, like,
And I do like with Last to Know that it starts off piano led, and then like the more you get into the song, you get into the bridge and the end of the song, and like the entire band comes in. You feel everything escalate and build and build and build.
Always Last to Know.
And I do like that.
It is.
The build up was good.
Actually, now that I listen to it again, I'm like, fuck, that makes sense. I'm always the last to know shit. Anyways, beside the point. But Life Starts Now as a whole, not just on Last to Know.
Yeah.
But relationship-wise, yes, it kind of fits in, like, and like you said, Life Starts Now, the actual song, amazing. Bitter Taste, I'm growing to it.
I mean,
but it's starting to be amazing.
Well, you've always cared for Bitter Taste, though. I'm the one that had to grow
Bully is
on
just fucking interesting.
It's
That song,
Bully is just dope. Bully's dope. Bully just like, I don't know how to explain Bully. I don't know where they came up with that song, but I've always had like this appeal to it when I first heard it.
just like cannot understand.
Like, Bully's not a bad song.
Not bad, but it's not
Like,
perfect.
I don't care for the opening with like the kids on the playground.
That's just weird.
Um,
Because again, I'm gonna say it.
It is weird. I can't defend it. Like, I always thought it was strange that it opens up with kids fighting. I don't get it. I don't. But it's kind of a Chad song where it's like they just come out, they just have this random like song that doesn't necessarily fit with 3 Days Grace. I mean, the vibe and the melody and I guess some of the lyrics, like I don't know, like it fits, but it's such like an oddball song that's just like, I don't know. You just have to listen to Bully to kind of understand it if you haven't already listened to it or haven't listened to it in a while. But it's just very like, it's very unapologetic, like in your face, and it kind of doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know, like I don't know what the song's about. Like, is it telling a story? Like, it's because they talk about a boy. Like I think the first verse where he's like, today, like, the screaming is over for him. And then it goes to a girl and it talks about how she's going to be noticed today. Like, is it telling a story? Are these two being bullied? Is the girl picking on the boy? Like who's the bully? Like, what? It's just one of those songs, like, I've looked into it. I try to find what people think about Bully. And people have just different interpretations of it, and I think maybe that's what they're going, but I can't find anything that's like, consistent. They're like, Bully is just an oddball, but that's why I love it too, because Bully just doesn't make sense, but it's awesome. It's very unapologetic. It's like a guilty pleasure 3 Days Grace song, if there ever was one.
I personally was bullied, but the kids playing on a playground. Come on, man.
like that intro to the song, I think makes it harder to come back to.
It is, but lyrics are
Just skip it.
somewhat good, yes. But World's So Cold. My God.
I will say,
World So Cold is, both versions are a banger. I prefer the piano version because his voice is just phenomenal in that song. Just absolutely phenomenal in that song. World So Cold is a banger. The piano version is god tier. That just so fucking good.
I'm glad you brought up lyrics, and I'll let you talk about World So Cold. I just want to add quickly, I do think lyrically, Life Starts Now as an album is better than 1X.
That's debatable, but I think I disagree.
I have between two answers right now. I don't know if it meets the first. Yeah, I got an answer.
It's gold, but I think they're gonna put it silver. I don't remember. I'm gonna predict it though.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Silver.
I fucking knew it.
Jesus Christ.
What can I say?
I wanted to put it at gold. Shocking as reason.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it obviously kind of.
See, it bothers me with how they decided to do the rank, and I keep going back to this, but silver just doesn't mesh well, like, at all. Silver just doesn't mesh well. Like, that is the self-titled album is silver. Life Starts Now is at least gold, because it's just like you're straying way too close to that aluminum.
Bases off of 1X, which 1X
Yeah.
obviously is one of their best albums. But
it's their best album, but that's just an opinion. I'm stating it as a fact. I don't really mean to. Well, I'm talking from a big place of passion. So, no, 1X is the GOAT. I'm really hoping Alienation just becomes my new favorite because that would be really cool. I want to see them come back. I mean, they're still relevant now. They're still popular, but not as popular as they used to be. And I really just want this album to like kind of throw them back into the mainstream. It probably won't, but I'm hoping that I can at least say like it competes with 1X.
I didn't want to put it at that gold stature because it. I don't know.
For me, right? Okay. So for me, if in my head 1X is a low gold,
It doesn't make sense though. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, okay. So this is like basically personal bias. I don't think they're looking at. I think at this point they're not looking at this through an objective lens or anything like that. I would say that at least one album, whatever your favorite might be, it needs to be platinum. I think that's my overall issue because for me, it's 1X. I think for a lot of people, it is 1X, but for these guys, I think that they needed to at least put one of them in there in the platinum or at least get aluminum out of the equation because it's just like you got the self-titled album is nowhere I consider near. It's not near dog shit. There's an album that Three Days Grace came out with that is probably near dog shit. That probably is near aluminum, but it's not self-titled. It's not the first record. It's not. That's what I'm just kind of having an issue with. I think that's what's setting off alarms in my head, going like I don't know. It's just like just like the tier system and how they decided to kind of do it. It's not. I don't think it's not necessarily. I mean, it is necessarily what they're putting in these tiers, but it's like there are two brackets or one bracket that needs to go away entirely. I would say this probably needs to be revisited. I really hope these guys watch this video just because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But also, I think it's time to make a new version of this, unless opinions haven't changed. And I mean, don't do it. Oops, I hit enter. Fuck.
purely because of the consistency of it, again for me, then I think Life Hurts Now has to be a high silver.
Yeah, it's definitely a high silver. Almost put it at a low gold, but I will say, yeah, I'm gonna go with silver because it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
And then the band would 3 years later, the band would try some new things, experiment a little bit. They would put out their last record with lead vocalist Adam Gontier, and their most divisive record in 2012, Transit of Venus.
I know this even back then when this came out. I was on the hype train for this. I remember when they announced it, like fucking finally some new music. Holy shit! Because at the time as a kid, I was in school and younger, like in my teens, and I'm like, fuck, life ticks away slowly at that time. So 3 years feels kind of feels whatever now. Like it's waitable for the most part, but back then it's like it might as well just be 8 years, might as well just be a decade. I knew then. I've heard some criticism of people saying like, this album sucks, or I've heard some very interesting opinions about this album, but not too many. Like, I guess on one hand, I knew that this was kind of like some of the choices they did in this album are controversial, but what I didn't fully understand wasn't aware of, that this was globally amongst the fan base their more decisive one. I don't know enough of what they did different in here that made it so divisive, other than a couple songs using like a keyboard. I forgot what the instrument's called, but Expectations using it or uses it. With Expectations is badass, by the way. I love Expectations, but let's let them talk about Transit of Venus.
And for me, Transit of Venus, I think... I love Transit of Venus.
Based. I love Transit Venus too.
There's not a song on there I don't like.
Let me think of the songs that are on there. I'm going off purely memory here. I love 3 Days Grace, and I primarily listen to 3 Days Grace. I don't really listen to anybody else. I got some autism in me, and that's just what I stuck with growing up, and that's what I stick with now. My music library isn't very big. It's primarily just 3 Days Grace or movie soundtracks such as Godzilla. So it's just whatever my fixations are, or I guess my passions. Godzilla and 3 Days Grace are my passions, I would say. So you got Sign of the Times, Chalk Outline, High Road, Operate, Misery Loves My Company. So you have Sign of the Times, Chalk Outline, The High Road, Operate, Anonymous. How can I forget about Anonymous? That's my opening song to like my channel. Anonymous, Misery Loves My Company, Give In To Me, Happiness is a banger. Then you got Give Me a Reason, The Time That Remains, Expectations, Broken Glass, and Unbreakable Heart. Okay, so Sign of the Times, good. Chalk Outline, one of the best 3 Days Grace songs of all time, period. High Road, once again, one of the best 3 Days Grace songs, period. Operate, it's good. Anonymous, one of the best, one of my personal favorites at least. Misery Loves My Company, I like it. It's good. Give In To Me, I believe this is a Michael Jackson. This is a cover of a Michael Jackson song. It's good. It's a good cover if that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Because this is, normally their albums are 12 songs uniform. This is 13, because I think one of them is a cover. I love Happiness. Happiness is a banger. Give Me a Reason, a banger. Time That Remains, a banger. Expectations, a banger. And then you get 2 flat songs, I would say. Broken Glass and Unbreakable Heart. These songs, I skip them so often. So really, like, the opening album, just all the songs for the most part, are solid except for these last 2. So this album, for me, kind of ends on a whimper. But, they're not bad songs. It's just Broken Glass is kind of generic. It's kind of like a safe Riot-ish. And Unbreakable Heart's kind of like a weaker, Life Starts Now single. So, but the album's still really good. I just don't see, like, all that they did to make it so controversial. I just don't know.
I think it is actually their most consistent record. And like I said, I absolutely adore it. From opening track, Sign of the Times, all the way to, I think the last track is Unbreakable Heart. I love it.
Are you sure?
100%.
Also, dope ass album cover. Album cover. I remember cover. Dope album cover. I remember getting this for the first time in the mail back then, and it was just like that white, just like the sun or Venus itself, and then you take it out of the slipcase, and it's like reveals the entire art. I need to get these signed. I'm seeing them this October. I'm so excited.
I can't do the decisive look. Please don't do the decisive look. The look is just deceit, and I get nightmares. See, this is where we start to disagree.
Yes, we do.
Okay. See,
It took
I'm
you a long
not
time.
that big a fan.
I know.
Yes, and I've listened to every song.
Like, it took you a long time to
It
get
did.
through Transit of Venus.
It did, and it was really hard for me to get into.
Like I said, it's the most divisive record.
This is going to be interesting.
It is a hate it or love it record.
Yep.
I love it. My friend, you're based. You have a Saint Sonia hat. You're based this entire video, but you're becoming unbased. I'm just kidding, but Transit of Venus is so good. Maybe I'm just a 3 Days Grace just dick sucker, but man, just no, it's just good. I can't hate it. I can't ever pretend to hate it. I can't. I don't visit it enough, like, to be honest with you, but every time I do, I'm reminded, like, I get like this. I get like this head rush. I get like whiplash. I'm like, holy fuck, why do I not listen to this very often? And that's usually because I stick to whatever. Sometimes, especially now, they come out with new songs, and I hyperfixate on the new songs, and that's, what I primarily just start listening to. But I think after this video, I'm gonna put on Transit of fucking Venus. Hell yeah.
I can't say I hate. I'm not gonna say I hate any 3 Days Grace album.
Chalk Out Line alone carries this album. And that's not saying very much because I think all the other songs carry on their own, but Chalk Out Line, you can't dude, you can't beat it. You can't beat. I think that one would be like my top like 5 songs right there. Chalk Out Line is so hard to beat. Oh, I'm gonna bump it after this. Yep.
Album. I will say I hate songs.
Yeah.
Obviously, my favorite song off of Transit of Venus is still Chalk Out Line.
Yes! 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 That's so based. That's so based, dude. Yes, Chalk Out Line. Dude, the GOAT. I remember when it came out, I was just literally blown away. I thought 3 Days Grace couldn't cook. They still cook. They can cook still.
I absolutely adore Time That Remains.
Time That Remains.
That is so base. No one really talks about Time That Remains. That was actually one of my other channel intro variants was Time That Remains. Time That Remains is such a beautiful song. It is, it's basically, it's in the perspective of somebody that, is singing to like a loved one, someone that they're really true, maybe someone who's going through some hard times, or maybe they're kind of looking in at themselves and kind of like talking to themselves about it too. It's subjective. It can go either way for me, but it's really just like, I hope the best comes. I really hope that you live your best life possible. Even that even means living and dying young. It's a beautiful song.
Is good, yes. But Chalk Out Line for me, it feels like again going back to like the addiction, he looked like he was clean.
Yeah.
It was weird. That's what I liked about it because he actually sounded amazing.
So I'm not entirely sure if you can really hear a difference in Adam's voice when it comes to. Maybe you can. I mean, yeah, his voice does go through. I'm not saying it doesn't go through a transformation. Like, there's videos out there of comparing his voices from, the early days, even before it was Through His Grace, up until, like, now. And the voice sounds completely different. I never thought that alluded to that he was getting more cleaner as time went on. Considering that I believe the story is when he was in St. Desonia, there's a song on there that's about how he was in rehab while his son was being born. Something along those lines. But I was always under the impression that during 1X, he was in rehab when he wrote those, and when he got out of rehab, he was staying on the road of being cleaned. But I guess, like, he got out of rehab, and he started using again, or I think at some point it was drugs, and then I think at some point he went to alcohol, and then I think he's sober on just about everything. At least, I don't know. There needs to be a whole documentary about 3 Days Grace. Like, I will take a full-fledged 5-hour documentary or a movie documentary. Just give me something. Because there's lore. There's so much lore. I want to know more about the beef between Adam and Neil. That's what I want to know.
Like, Buddy always sounded amazing. Like,
Yeah.
doing 1X, self-titled, and Life Starts Now. But he actually, like, sounded almost better. And I don't know if he was fully clean. He could have been. I have no idea. Anyways, beside the point.
Yeah. I know, like, at a certain point, he would stop doing drugs, I want to say, but then, like, started, like, becoming an alcoholic.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I think he was using drugs. He was on drugs. I know the story. He was in rehab, and that's when he started writing 1X. And then after that, I think it was just a road to recovery from that, but I think he started resorting to alcohol.
Fair.
I don't know how the timeline sits with that, and that's not my...
I don't know either, brother. I have a powerful search engine in front of me, but I'm not going to use it for this.
Business, I don't.
Because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I'd rather just be an official source that kind of documents everything somewhere down the line. I will take a documentary, please. Give me in 4K.
Care that much. I'm just glad like Adam seemingly is completely clean now and is making great stuff with Saint Asonia. Different point though.
And now he's with 3 Days Grace again. If it's temporary or not, we're getting a whole album of him. So fucking excited.
We'll get to that later.
Okay. So
For me, like I said,
Apologies, Mayday, bangers.
had
You
some
love
high points for me. Like I love the album. High points for me. Like Chalk Out Line was a great lead single for the record. I like the opener Sign of the Times. The High Road was another great single for the record. Misery Loves My Company, I think.
Misery Was My Company? Misery is... I think he meant to say Misery Loves My Company, or he kind of rolled the words together by accident.
Takes
That-
what I liked about Scared
I'm
on the
sorry.
first record and makes it better to me.
That's actually a base statement. Scared's a good song, but Misery Loves My Company is basically at the time was a very modern day Scared. I think a better version of Scared, actually.
I'm glad you said that song. That is a fucking banger.
Take a shot for how many times me or them say banger. I need to pull up the dictionary and look up new words. Because I'm starting to reuse a lot of words lately, like banger and dog. I think it's usually around that time where I need to start getting new phrases. It's time to shed my old skin.
That song is a banger. So is Time Has Remained.
Yeah.
That song, but that one's good.
Like Time That Remains, I wouldn't call a banger because Time That Remains is essentially just a pop.
Don't actually take a shot because you'll die at this point. You're already dead.
Again, Unbreakable Heart I think is good. Weirdly, I remember this note specifically when I was preparing for what was going to be the retrospective. I took a note for Unbreakable Heart where I said, I thought that song, the closer on the record, would actually sound better with Matt on vocals.
Hey, that's actually... Oh, you know what? That actually is that's a really good idea. Matt would probably carry that song more. Yeah. I would hope that, you know what, it would honestly be really based if, there might be a whole, like, legal issue, because I think different producers, different studios might have rights to certain songs or albums, or I think maybe 3 Days Grace has full rights to all their music. And they don't need to get permission from their previous studios that they work with. I don't know how that stuff works, but I would say after Alienation, it wouldn't hurt for them to make a whole album, even if a bigger album, like more than 12 songs, if they could, and it's just them. Adam Gontier, however I say Gontier. I've said Gontier for years. I think it's Gontier. Adam doing Matt 3 Days Grace songs, and then Matt doing Adam songs. Because Matt for years has been singing old 3 Days Grace songs, and the stuff that he wrote with the band as well. So I think that'll be a nice little treat for fans to get an album where we get a studio made album where they're swapping songs and sing each other's songs. Like, I think that'll be really interesting to get a studio version of I Hate Everything About You with Matt Walston as the vocals. I think it would be a really kick-ass song if we got maybe even Car Crash with Adam on vocals, or vice versa. Unbreakable Heart with Matt, that is a genius idea. That song would actually become better. It's just I don't know what it is about Unbreakable Heart. It might be Adam's vocals and just the lyrics itself that just don't work with that song. It's just like Unbreakable Heart, it's a very weaker Life Starts Now, as I said before. Broken Glass would actually be a really kick-ass Matt Walston song as well. Damn, you got me thinking now. You got me hoping for something that's not going to come out. But wouldn't that just be... Dude, deluxe version of Alienation that's coming out. It comes out with some previous 3 Days Grace songs, but with the vocalist swapped. Cook! Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Get back in the studio. Just do it. I want it all. But that would have to do a fan poll of what are the songs that they should do. I think Matt doing Riot. I Hate Everything About You. Unbreakable Heart. Ooh. Maybe Pain. Oh god, there's some good ones, dude. There are some good ones they can absolutely do. Oh man, anyway. Got me wishing.
Oh yeah, I do remember you saying that though.
I don't know if I still think that. That was like back in 2018, 2019, something like that. So yeah. But yeah.
But it's weird. After everything that I've said, short and brief, I have an answer.
I do too. Mm-hmm. We are 100% going to be different on this one.
Oh yeah. Are you sure?
100%.
All right.
I think he's gonna put it. He's gonna put it in gold. He's gonna put it in bronze. That's my assumption because nothing's going in platinum.
3, 2, 1.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Bronze.
Gold.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah.
Now, what are they gonna do?
I knew you were gonna put that gold.
Oh.
They're gonna have to come to a middle ground and put it in silver.
And I'm not gonna give that. To me, it's not. Like you said earlier, I don't think anything's gonna be that platinum.
I so disagree. I so fucking disagree. At least one of them has to be platinum.
Yeah, nothing's going to be platinum. Again, to me, like I said...
we could have different variation, because it's not like...
Oh, yeah. I think for the purpose of the video, we can...
Oh! I mean, to be fair, I've seen this before, like, a couple years ago, but I haven't watched it in its entirety since. You know, I'm kind of noticing, too, they never reply to me. So I wonder if they're like, don't you fucking dare react to this video. I'm reacting to it anyway.
Fine, like, for the purpose of the video, we can meet in the middle and put it at a silver. It's just, you know...
Because easily,
yeah.
I just wanted to be realistic to my personal... Because I easily could have put 1X at platinum.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, at this point, whenever this video comes out, I am going to have to do... I either have or going to make a 3 Days Grace... I'm probably going to make it right now after this. And just get it ready to be uploaded sometime in July. I'll probably will do videos, talk about 3 Days Grace leading up to the new release. It'll probably be a one-time thing. So please no one give me any fan suggestions of, you know, who to react to next. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I might take some suggestions. Just when it comes to music, reacting to music. I know people in the past have suggested that I react to some of their favorite bands, and I said I would, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's not what I want to do. This is a one-time thing, really. Unless they make a response video, and for whatever reason they're mad at me, then I'll probably will have to make another video, and it's like, I fucked up, but, like, I don't see any reason why they would. You know, it's civil, you know, I disagree, and it's all for fun, and it's fair use, too, at the end of the day.
Here after Transit Venus released, either a year or two after, Adam Gontier, frontman, would leave the band, and then
Was it a year? I know that the album came out, I think, summer or late summer of 2012. I think it was beginning of 2013, was it not? Where he left. So not really much of a year. I think it was like 6 months after the album came out, Adam left. I don't even think it was a full year. Spring of 2013. So it wasn't a year. I'm kind of correct. I do remember, at least I kind of remember winter because that day in particular where I got the news, it was a snow day. We got snowed in and we had a 2-hour delay. So it wasn't a snow day, but we had a major 2-hour delay.
Bassist brother, Matt Walst, would join the band from his band My Darkest Days, taking over for the Transit of Venus tour. And there actually were some good songs that he sang live from Transit of Venus, actually. Like, he does a really good cover of... He does a really good job on High Road. I know that for sure.
High Road.
And then, 3 years after the release of Transit of Venus, they would put out the first album with Matt Walst, Human. And with their lead single, I Am Machine. And I think, honestly, that was the right call. I think that was the best choice for a lead-off single for the album.
I would have to agree. Now, in my opinion, Human is my least favorite 3 Days Grace album ever. It's not very good. There are multiple songs that I will skip because they're, not really great. They're generic, they're repetitive. I Am Machine and Painkiller are indeed bangers. But not really much else from Human I like outside of those two.
Yeah. Okay.
They would
I'm
also.
gonna start this one off.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna say it now because I know it's gonna come. Human Race is god awful.
That's not what you said right before we started recording.
But anyways, in my opinion, it's okay. I can't say it's god awful, but I do not like it.
I think it's fine. Human Race is a very monotonous song. And if you can't get past the repetition of it, I mean...
Yeah, true.
Human Race opens up the album, and then
See, it's weird.
leads off into Painkiller.
We start off, like, from my opinion, we start off not good. But then we go to Painkiller, and then that got overtaken by Fallen Angel. And then Landmine's in the middle with me.
I hate Landmine.
I know.
I hate Landmine. Landmine was one of the ones I was thinking of. And I'm like, God, Landmine I just can't stand. It's like, it's a more generic Riot and Animal I Become, in my opinion. It sucks. And, I love Matt Alston. I think he's just as iconic as Adam at this point. And that's why I'm really excited that both are our lead vocals, and Adam's back, and they're sharing the spotlight and sharing the microphone. It's awesome. It's peak. I cannot wait to see him this October. But it kind of, Human, and even Matt has said, or maybe he didn't say it directly, but he said, at least when coming on to Outsider, he said he was way more comfortable with his vocals. Because, with Human, he has to fill in some big shoes, and that puts a lot of pressure on the guy. I imagine, and it was not a smooth transition. People wrote this guy off immediately. People called him dog shit, and any comment section says, Adam, please come back. That has to be harsh on his mental health.
You do.
But I have a reason for that to get into it.
Okay.
It's because, from the pre-chorus into...
You know what? Hold on. Okay, so we have Human Race, Painkiller, Fallen Angel, Landmine. Fallen Angel is okay. Landmine I hate. Tell Me Why is okay. I Am Machine is good. So What is... It reminds me of Broken Glass-ish. I get it's... Landmine and So What are kind of similar to me. They kind of remind me of inferior older 3 Days Grace songs. Car Crash I really like. Nothing's Friend Love and War I don't like. One Too Many. It's kind of like Happiness from Transit of Venus, and it's okay. The end is not the answer. It's whatever. The Real You is pretty good. But overall, I believe this is the only album I didn't buy. This is the only album I did not buy because I was just kind of very whatever about it. I was very just... It wasn't like I was unhappy and I wrote Matt off right away. I remember being very optimistic. I didn't like that he was singing older 3 Days Grace songs live, but at the same time, what was the guy supposed to do? What was the whole band supposed to do? So when the album was coming out, I was very optimistic. I was like, okay. And even at the time, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It's just when we got the other albums like Explosions and Outsider, that's when I was like, Human sucks. But at the time when it came out, I think I was happy with it. I was like, okay, Matt can carry this band. Matt can lead this band. And, that works for me. So... it's not like I hated Matt right from the beginning and I only wanted Adam. I was really upset that Adam was gone. And it seemed like it was going to be forever, but I was very optimistic with Matt. And, kind of looking back, I don't like Human. Anywho.
To the chorus all the way through, musically, it sounds like they ripped off Rise Against with The Good Left Undone. And, I'm sorry. Also, lyrically, Landmine fucking sucks. This is one of the worst songs they ever have written. I
have to say, I hate to keep dogpiling on Landmine, But it's like the lyrics, the instrumentals, the melody. It is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. And it's just it feels like it's an inferior Riot and Animal I Become. And what's another one I'm thinking of? There's probably another song that I think that it had pulled inspiration from, but I can't think of what it is. It's probably Bully. Let's be honest. Such a Chad song.
It literally sounds like a fucking WWE theme song, and we're wrestling fans, but like, no. There's a lot of wrestling theme songs that sound.
I'm not gonna say I
awful.
hate it.
Whatever.
Like, it's in the middle with me.
I hate Landmine.
And
But
then
anyways.
tell me why.
Tell me why after that.
Tell me why. That kind of goes back to freaking a depressing thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, but again, it's an amazing song. Like,
The thing with Human for me, which is interesting, I think not even I think I know that they lyrically essentially were just trying to capture that magic of what they had at the height with Adam, but with Matt now in the band, and vocally Matt on this record especially, and he would even kind of bring it back with Explosions too, from what I've listened to. He's trying too hard, and on this record especially, he sounds like he's trying to be Adam, and it drags a lot of the songs
now that
down.
I kind of agree with you on.
I would have to agree as well. Thinking about it, like, I think that was probably like it could have been an intention of his that that the other bandmates, Brad, Neil, and Barry probably did or didn't know about, but he was probably like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to fill in these huge shoes. These are big shoes to fill, and then at some point he was probably like, no, I'm just gonna fill my own shoes, which good choice.
Car Crash, I think it's a little more memorable,
Car Crash is.
but I just don't.
I like Car Crash because Matt's vocals sound really nice in that song, and it's very acoustic, and it's got the acoustic beginning. And, when Three Days Grace uses acoustic guitar, they cook. A lot of my favorite songs, they have acoustic in it. I just like to break from the hard, heavy riffs. I just like, very nice, soft acoustic guitar with some badass vocals.
I agree. Like, it ended solid. Some good songs in the middle. But I do agree, lyrically, it's just not the greatest. And I like that. I can't say I love this album. I like it-ish. But yeah.
It's got fine songs on it.
I have an answer.
I do too.
You ready for 3? 3, 2.
Yeah.
Okay. We start?
Yeah.
Good. 3, 2, 1.
Aluminum.
Bronze.
Aluminum.
See, I wasn't going to go that low.
Yeah, I would have to agree, but I was kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked you picked
don't
aluminum.
Mine's a low bronze. I almost put aluminum, but I didn't want it. Had that slight edge.
Again, from what I know, it's not. I don't even think this is their weakest either. But, I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't want to put it at aluminum because I don't want to say anything is bad.
Well, remember, like there's a non-existent tier for trash that
Yeah,
we're
'cause
not saying anything
Yeah,
is.
because it's me. Anyways,
No, it's me.
Anyways, I'm gonna put it at a low bronze. If we want to put it at aluminum, that's fine.
I mean, I don't really care one or the other. Like low bronze,
I'm good with
high
I'm
aluminum.
good with aluminum, but I'm a low bronze, high aluminum.
I mean, I don't know how we're gonna meet in the middle here.
Just put it in aluminum. Just put it in aluminum. But see, like, this is... I don't know. It just really bothers me every time I see this like image come up. I get really triggered when I see 1X sitting not at platinum or any of the albums sitting at platinum. It's an opinion, of course. I gotta respect it, but it's a weird one to me. It's a very weird it's a weird hill. I don't know how else to explain it.
Let's put it at aluminum.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I just now noticed, like, what is this song? What is this right here? Rock Gone Wrong. 3 Days Grace What is this? I don't want to watch it. I don't. I just don't have energy to. I love explosions, so it's making like okay, they're just gonna shit on explosions, so not.
I can be on board with that.
Yeah.
Low bounce. Anyways, proceed.
Regardless, though, so it's currently for the video sitting at a high aluminum. Human is. And
I'm gonna request, unless opinions haven't changed since then, and I guess this video would need to come out after Alienation comes out for it to for the I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know I'm trying to say I can't get the words out. For them to redo this video, it needs to be. I would like it to be out after Alienation comes out and they've actually sat down and listened to it, and then like this video needs to be approached again and like remade. And I don't know, maybe I don't know if they did. I'll have to look and see if they did Saint Desonia or not. I mean, I see like 7 months ago they did. They started reviewing 1X again. It looked like so. I'm gonna after I'm done recording this, I'm going to watch some of their videos off camera and just binge their videos. But I request this video to be remade. Unless thoughts haven't changed. If not, just talk about Alienation. That's it.
then 3 years later, they would put out their second record with Matt, Outsider, released in March of 2018. I listened to it as soon as it came out and became kind of obsessed with it for a while. And I think Outsider is a massive step in the right direction for the band. I genuinely liked it. I thought The Mountain felt like leftovers from Human, personally. Like, it wasn't bad, but I didn't love it either. Then I thought Right, Left, Wrong, which I want to say, if I remember right, was the last single for the record to be released.
Actually, I think Right, Left, Wrong was...
I think that was the last one.
That was the first one.
No, The Mountain was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, The Mountain was the lead-off single.
I remember when The Mountain came out, and The Mountain's what got my ass into the gym before COVID. I haven't been to the gym, and I mean, I've been on and off at the gym. It's really bad. I need to get back into it. But The Mountain was like that song that got my ass into the gym. The Mountain is that song that kept my ass working out and kept my ass on the treadmill. There was one time, it's probably not that impressive, but it's impressive for me, and I'm so fucking proud of it, that it was The Mountain on endless repeat is what kept me running on the treadmill for like over 30 minutes. I have yet to achieve that again, but like I was just like on fuck. That song put me on demon time. Demon time. I was a monster. I need to get back into it so hard. I just need to listen to Outsider again.
Single.
We'll look that up because I might be thinking something wrong. So
I know for sure. It was The Mountain, and then I don't know the other two. It was.
I know Abyss was one of the top 4.
No, The Abyss wasn't released as a single. The 3 singles specifically, they did.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, they did The Mountain, then it was Right, Left, Wrong, and I'm an Outsider. But those last two, I don't remember what came first. I want to say I'm an Outsider came first, though.
All right. So Outsider.
You want me to pull out the track list?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what I'm gonna say about this album. At one point in time, when I listened to this album, it almost this close overtook 1X.
This was also another record that it took you a while to get into.
I fucking love this album so much.
I love this album too, but I think I like Explosions a little more, and it's because I found that Outsider. I'm gonna switch over to the tracks real quick just so that I can get them right. Let's see, Light Riff Wrong, probably one of my favorite 3 Days Grace songs of all time. Like, it's definitely in my top 10. The Mountain, definitely in my top 10. I Am an Outsider, it's okay. I lose traction once, if I listen to this in order, I lose traction here, but then we get back up with Infrared, Nothing to Lose But You, Me Against You is good, Love Me or Leave Me is good, Strange Days is good, Villain's okay, Chasing the First Time's okay. The New Real and The Abyss are god tier songs. So some songs are okay, like it kind of goes banger, banger, oop, I stepped on your toes, banger, banger, stepped on your toes, banger, banger, stepped on your toes, banger, not banger, stepped on your toes once more, banger, banger. That's how I look at it, but it's not bad songs. Just some of the songs my only issue overall with this album is primarily that if I'm listening from front to back, cover to the back, it becomes tedious at a certain part because there are some songs in here that it's criminal that they repeat the chorus like until the end of the song. Like it'll be like you get the first verse, then you get then you get the chorus, then it's verse 2, you get the chorus, and then the bridge is just the chorus again, and then it just ends. So sometimes if I'm listening to music, and I think nothing, Me Against You, or even the song Nothing to Lose But You, kind of is guilty of that, where Me Against You does that. I think literally the bridge is just Matt just going, me against you, you against me against you. Like, it's kind of tedious to me. It's very tedious to me with certain songs. Like, it just repeats the chorus until it ends. So sometimes when but listening to music, listening to The Outsider, and the song will come on, and I swear I'll zone out for like what feels like a second, then the song ends, and it's mainly because like it just repeats the chorus over and over and over again until it ends, and there's not really much meat in the song. Maybe that's how they feel about other 3 Days Grace albums, and they couldn't articulate that in their video, but that's how I feel. I haven't listened to these songs in a while. I know Me Against You is guilty of it from what I remember. Chasing the First Time, The Abyss, even I'm an Outsider does it. What I love about Right Left Wrong, it has one of the best placed 3 Days Grace F-bombs of all time. Like, I don't know where I'm going to, but I don't give a motherfucking... Wait, I don't want any motherfucking part of you. It's perfect. When I heard that in the bridge, I was hooked on the song. Like, right, left, wrong. I would wait for the bridge. I would wait. And I get that payoff right at the end where it's like, and I don't know where I'm going to, but I don't want any motherfucking part of you. My thing with 3 Days Grace is that they come in clutch when I need them the most. Like, even right now, Alienation's coming out, and a lot of the songs, like even Apologies and Mayday, I relate to them because I find myself in situations where those songs are the most relevant, especially Apologies. And during this time too, I was moving out of a toxic household. So when I heard Right, Left, Wrong, dude, and it got to the part where it's like, I don't want any motherfucking part of you, God tier. Just God tier. It had me hooked. It had me absolutely hooked right there. Like, absolutely. Like, and it's just really, this whole like album's basically just kind of like finding your place in the world, kind of, and it's kind of like, this was 2018, and I by 2017 I moved out of my parents' house, not by my choice. Not that I was kicked out for anything I did wrong. It was just like, hey, you buy this, you have a year, in that year you need to find a new place to live. It was just kind of out of nowhere. And then 2017, I was living with a friend, and it was a mess. And I moved in with another kind of friend, and he was toxic, and he brought in a toxic ex into his home, and we had a toxic relationship. Constantly bickering at each other. And then once it came to finally moving, this album dropped. And it was basically just like, it felt like a Strange Days to me. Like, this album was super relevant to me at the time, and it still is. Like, a lot of these songs are just God tier. Like, The Abyss. The Abyss is so good. It's a vibe. Absolute vibe.
Lyrically is where I have an issue with it. It's it's nothing but just a big cliche for a song.
It kind of felt like repetitive a little bit.
Oh yeah, I do. Definitely.
Can you guys fucking hear me? Like, what the hell? That's like precisely what I was thinking of. Like, a lot of the songs, their lyrics are kind of repetitive. Like, repeating the chorus until the song ends is just lazy to me.
It was like kind of weird, like kind of saying the same thing. Like, there was no like other lyric that you were either saying I am an outsider, talking about like I forgot about the in crowd or whatever. It's just like there was like no other bridge to it.
Yeah, and I think like
exactly. Like, they hear me. They absolutely are hearing me right now. I'm like, okay. So it seems like when it comes to the Matt Wallace and stuff, we're almost on the same page.
We'll get into this with the song "Me
I want your Saint Sonia hat.
Against You" later, because I feel the same kind of way. But like, when I know that there's another band that I enjoy that's done the same idea of I'm an outsider, but better and not like relying on like the whole thing being a cliche lyrically. I mean, I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, Three Days Grace are a bunch of dudes in their 40s making this music, so.
And they're fucking so based.
Now we get into this.
Yeah.
Infrared. What a good fucking song.
Yes, I love Infrared.
God fucking love it. It is absolutely amazing.
Like, Infrared was like the big first standout of the record for me. For like a first half of the record that I thought was kind of weak.
Yeah.
I think the album improves greatly in the second half. But yeah, Infrared, I think it's a great song.
It's always weird, like, the best songs are, like, in the middle of the album. If you kind of think about
It depends.
Yeah.
I would say their best songs are right at the beginning. Right, Left, Wrong, The Mountain, Infrared. Then yeah, I guess it really is the chunk of the. It really is a big chunk of the middle, isn't it?
But yeah. I don't really have anything else to say about Infrared. I just like it a lot.
I love it. Nothing to Lose by You is...
I think it's fine enough.
I kind of forgot about
I mean, I do think it's a little forgettable, but I think it's fine.
it. It's...
Then there's Me Against You, which...
I
again,
agree. So James said back in the day that there's unnecessary word of the F-bomb, and I do agree.
Yeah, I think Matt does say fuck
Which is
unnecessarily.
stupid, like, fuck that. Like, it kind of...
Oh, that's I was thinking he was talking about right, left, wrong, but he says motherfucker. Not really a. Let's see, which one was that? It was Me Against You. He was like, fuck that. Yeah. It's coming back to me now. Yep. I know what you're talking
and he
about.
kind of kept saying it, but it just didn't make any sense.
I think lyrically as well.
Like,
with
if
this,
you drop it 1 or 2 times, that's fine.
or like at least just
That is why, like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, right, left, wrong has a well-placed, F-bomb. It's motherfucker, but it's well-placed. Like, it builds and builds and builds. And I don't know where I'm going to, but I don't want any motherfucking part of you. It's a statement. Period. I don't want any motherfucking part of you. Period. Stamp it. Ship it. Sell it. Copyright it. I don't know.
make it make sense with the lyric instead of like the whole purpose of the lyric of a lyric of the song just being like fuck that, and like you're not really responding to it.
Yeah, it's repetitive. It's repetitive as fuck. It's repetitive. And also, I don't know if OBS is capturing, but there's like some weird. I think YouTube's having a meltdown. There's like some weird like flicker right here.
Anything by saying fuck that.
Going back to Wake Up, you're just not drunk enough to fuck. That one actually kind
No, I'm not gonna get back into it. I already talked about it.
of made sense, but it was
Like
just
it made
weird.
sense for the song, but it's still a bad lyric.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, at least in my opinion, it's not. It doesn't imply what people think it implies. I mean, yeah, the intention is to fuck, but it's not like sinister. And I'm not going back into it. I'm not going back into it.
But like lyrically, Me Against You as well. I feel like the same vibe that comes with that song, I think also comes from the song You're Going Down by Sick Puppies, which also has not held up as well as you think it does, unless you didn't really care for it at all. But again, as someone who liked that song a lot, I think You're Going Down still hasn't aged that well.
Yeah.
But it does this concept Me Against You tries, I think, a lot better. And that's why Me Against You is personally my least favorite from the album, personally.
It's not my least favorite. I already know my least favorite.
But then after that, we get into Love Me or Leave Me, which was an early favorite for you.
Yes, it was. And it still is one of my top favorites.
I think it's solid
Top
enough. I think Love Me or Leave Me really starts that second half of the record just being really solid. Love Me or Leave Me is a fine song. Then Strange Day.
It's weird, Love Me or Leave Me.
Yeah.
Like, I love it because it kind of, again, it relates to me, but it's just, it's catchy as fuck.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I get what you mean.
It's like, and it doesn't get any, like, high voice. It's, like, all low, kind of, like...
Yeah, it's a low...
Yeah, that's why I like it. Like, Let Me Leave Me Forever. I like the lyrics and I like the vibe that's very low. It's very slow. It's very atmospheric. But it does fall into that trap, too, where it's like... It does kind of get repetitive. Where it's just repeating... It's just repeating the chorus. It's just, will you let me leave me forever? Will you let me leave me forever? Deep, deep, deep down inside, tell me, would you let me or leave me? It just kind of like that's where Outsider, it is good. I don't revisit it very often. There's a few songs I go back and revisit to, and I need to go make a playlist in iTunes of all the bangers.
Tempo song.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's their best low tempo song either. But yeah, I think it's fine enough. And then they go into Strange Days, which I thought again was a very good song right away. Another high point, another song that it took him a while to get into, but once you did,
that is the best fucking song on that goddamn album. Strange Days is fucking amazing.
See, if it isn't the New Real or the Mountain for me, it's actually the New Real. The New Real is I find a really good song. You know, somebody has a Van Stick family. Someone took a trip last year. Someone drives a Maserati. Like it's such a good song. I like it because it's also different too. Because like they don't, because like the hook, or not the hook, but like, you know, the title of the song doesn't appear until like the bridge. So it's different. It's very different where the chorus doesn't have the title. I don't know if like there's a word for that, like if there's like a musical structure that has a name for that, but I like that. It's a nice change of pace. That's why I like the New Real. If it isn't outside of Right, Left, Wrong, and The Mountain, Infrared.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do think it's really solid.
Also, when you think about it too, I feel like Infrared is like just as good. It's like a version of the High Road or Operate, in a way, but it's just as good, if not better. I mean, not better than High Road. I mean, ooh, that's a hard verses right there.
In my opinion, that is the.
Yeah, that's fine.
Infrared is a close second. But Strange Days. Now, Villain, I am not.
I really like Villain, I'm not.
I really do too, because it's just weird and it's kind of mellow, I would say.
I don't know if I'd say mellow. I
Maybe
think
a little bit higher.
For me, Villain or not, kind of sounds boring to me. Like just like the whole song just sounds generic to me.
Mellow,
like I feel like it continues the vibe of Strange Days. It kind of like continues the vibe of Strange Days into that song.
It's almost 12 o'clock.
Pretty well.
And then
midnight.
Going into
like
Chasing
earlier,
the First Time.
Like
It's a song about getting high. What can I say?
Hey guys, kind of popping in here during editing, and I wanted to chime in and kind of talk about my opinions on the track Chasing the First Time. Well, I don't really... It's not my favorite, but it's not a bad song by any means, but I think to me, it doesn't mean... It's not talking about chasing that first high that you got while getting stoned, drunk, you know, whatever, you know, intoxicated. I don't think it just means being intoxicated. I kind of feel like it's talking about that first time with just anything. Like maybe you went skydiving for the first time and you're kind of like, you really like that adrenaline rush, but you know, every other skydiving experience isn't the same as, you know, the first time. Or maybe even getting a new reptile or a tarantula, kind of like I did. Like I got the first one and I'm like, I really like this. Get more and more. Maybe you pull a Pokemon card and it's like just chasing that first time. That, you know, first time experience doing something. That first time is magical, and I think a lot of us, when it comes to hobbies or getting high, stoned, blah 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 blah, whatever it may be, it's just chasing that first time. First time doing anything. The Abyss, it's a vibe. I like it.
I think The Abyss is fine. It is a solid. I think it's a solid way to close out the record. Again, I don't think it's their best closer by any means, but again, I think it's fine. And I think from Love Me or Let Me Down to The Abyss, it's a really solid all the way through, even if you disagree.
Think about this. Imagine, what do you think if Infrared ended up being the closer? Imagine that. That would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I don't think it'd be a good closing track, though.
No. I think the only thing I would agree about the fucking Abyss is that the ending, the closing song on the album.
Yeah, I think it fits. I do wish, in a way, that I almost wish Infrared would have been a single. I think it would have fit better.
Yeah.
Like, I know why they went with The Mountain as the lead-off single, but I don't see a reason. And obviously they went I'm an Outsider because that's effectively the title track. But I don't know. I don't see a reason why Right Left Wrong had to be a single, even if I do like the song.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, at this point, I genuinely believe that like a lot of 3 Days Grace's singles are very surface level, and like the more you dig into the album, the better. Like the better songs show a reason. And obviously, they went "I'm an Outsider" because that's effectively the title track. But I don't know. I don't see a reason why Right Left Wrong had to be a single, even if I do like the song.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, at this point, I genuinely believe that like a lot of 3 Days Grace's singles are very surface level, and like the more you dig into the album,
I think I disagree. I disagree. I don't think they are surface level. I mean, Outsider, sure. I am an outsider, sure. Trying to think of another one. I can't think of any right now.
the better
But
the
I
better
disagree.
songs you'll find.
Yep.
Again, like Never Too Late, I think is an exception to that. I like Never Too Late a lot still, but like again, I don't come back to Analyze Become or Pain at all.
I think you should. I think you should come back and look at it through a different lens and kind of see how you feel. I know Becoming Pain, even like they sound awesome. They're just awesome sounding songs. Just like everything about it. God tier.
Personally,
I have an answer.
who do I have an answer?
This one's gonna shock you.
I do.
We're gonna disagree.
Yeah, we do.
Ready?
Yeah.
3,
Let's see. Gold, silver.
2, 1.
Bronze.
Really?
My heart hurts after you say
Bronze. Bronze.
that. At least
I guess
silver.
I think Outsider is a good record. It's better than Human, but I don't think it's better than anything they've made with Adam.
Yeah. Like,
Good. You disagree, and I'm willing to meet in the middle here and maybe do like a high bronze, low silver.
I will agree with that.
Which one do you think?
I'm thinking silver, low silver.
You allow me to put Human in aluminum, so
Okay.
that's fine. Personally, I would have it as a bronze, but that's fine.
Okay.
Explosions is short.
And then the
I think for this, I'm gonna not do the Saint Sonia one. We might just come back to that maybe another time, or maybe not at all. But it's just mainly reacting to the albums. That's what we're here for.
last record that we will talk about is Explosions, their most recent record. I know you haven't really listened to it. For me, I've listened to a good bit of it, and personally, I don't have much to say. I think it's more the same. Like, if you just really liked 3 Days Grace with Matt Walsh on vocals, you'll like this record fine enough. But I think it's just not very good. So I heard someone say at one point that certain bands have the problem where they're essentially just putting out the same material over and over again. They're giving up the same vibes. They're just making the same stuff over and over again. And I think that is 3 Days Grace with Matt at this point. They're not really doing anything new. And
I can see where he's coming from, because I kind of felt that way with Outsiders, where it's like with Matt, because Matt was a lead in My Darkest Days, and I haven't really listened to much of them, but I have to imagine that some of that kind of carries with him into 3 Days Grace. Well, I also have to imagine that he's different in 3 Days Grace. So I can imagine at this point that maybe that they're, for some people, that they're kind of, even for me, like, that's why I think this new album coming out is going to be a breath of fresh air. Because if this album's a banger and Adam goes back to Saint Sonia for a while and like they kind of tour separate once more, you know, that just kind of puts Matt and the rest of the gang, Neil, Brad, Barry, to try to top it without Adam, you know, a second time again. So that's understandable. I feel like Explosions for me, I'm gonna go and see if he's given it like a full honest review of it. But I think since there's not really much he has to say about it, I think I'm just gonna go on a tangent here and just gush about Explosions for the remainder of this video. So, you know, once again, Go check these guys out. I'm gonna go check out the rest of their videos once I'm done here and listen to some 3 Days Grace. But So-Called Life, and I've said it so many times in this video, but So-Called Life, a banger, and it's a great opening to the album. So-Called Life just lives rent-free in my head. When it came out, I'd listened to nothing but this So-Called Life for the longest time, nothing else. I Am the Weapon is really good too. Here's how I feel about, I mean, we kind of run into the same problems again, where it's like, So-Called Life, banger. I Am the Weapon, really good. Neurotic. I could take it or leave it. Lifetime, amazing. A Scar Is Born, great. Souvenirs, I love it. No Tomorrow, it's kind of like a generic So What or Broken Glass to me. Then we get to Redemption, Champion, Chain of Abuse. Someone to Talk To is a good song, but it's very, very underwhelming to me. Where they gotta pop the Lipka back for this, their second song together, and I think what it is, it's criminal how short it feels. It's kind of one of the, I don't know. I just wish it was longer. I feel like they could have, I don't know. It's just underwhelming. It's just really underwhelming, but it's still good. I like it. And then Explosions, I love Explosions. I really do love Explosions. I mean, it's kind of cheesy. It's kind of cheesy, but I love it. I do love it. So, good, okay, kind of stepping on toes. It's kind of like a dance. So we're dancing. We got Riz, stepped on my toes. We're getting back into it. Okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get the third base. Or no, we're gonna get the fourth base, and then okay, kind of fucked it up. Okay, here we go, Redemption. Here we go. We're gonna seal the deal. We're gonna take her home. We're taking her home, and we at least have another date planned. That's kind of how I break it down. So Explosion, I like Explosions more than Outsider and Human. So I think this is Matt's best record. Here, let's go back and see if he says anything more.
Something different. I liked where they went from Human to Outsider, and it feels like they took a step back. And like this record almost seems like it feels like there's a branching path. We got Outsider going this way, and then it feels like they doubled back and then made a new path to put out Explosions to me. And I just don't care for it. There's one song I think has some heart behind it, and that's the song that I don't remember the title of it. Like Lifetime or something like that, maybe.
So-Called Life isn't great? You don't, wait, what?
Song they dedicated to the town in Kentucky that got hit by all those tornadoes. That's the one song I think that has some heart behind it, but outside of that, I just don't care for it.
You have an answer?
Yeah, I would personally say that we don't have the...
No, that was a mistake to continue this video. That was a mistake. You said it yourself. You didn't listen. You listened to it for a bit. That kind of implies to me you haven't listened to all of it, or no, that was a mistake to continue the video. That was a mistake. No, dude, no. Oh man, that's criminal. That's actually criminal. That's bad. That's a bad take. That's harsh. I gotta take my headphones off for this. That's harsh. That's... Oh, man. Behind Human? Oh, my God. Oh, man. Oh. Wow. I hope he made another video talking about Explosions at least. Ah, man. Hold on. All right, now you got me curious. Okay, let's go to final thoughts. There's no way. Oops, I full screened it for no reason. That's fine. There's no way.
Meat of the video, the 3 Days Grace discography ranking that is replacing the idea of the retrospective. Our official working together ranking of all the 3 Days Grace records. Gold. We have nothing in platinum. We have gold tier 1X. We have silver. We have Life Starts Now, Transit of Venus, and Outsider. Bronze. We have the self-titled record. Aluminum. We have Human and Explosions. Some things might end up changing if we ever like make a little update.
That's so
Or
harsh.
something once Tyson listens to more Saint Asonia and listens to Explosions. But that is the 3 days.
Okay, thank God. Thank dude, Tyson W. No disrespect, of course. You know, obviously, but thank God. thank God for that platinum being filled. I'm so happy. No explosions though, but wow, that's oh God, thank God. Oh man. Oh, losing hope for a
This is
second.
almost an hour. Holy fuck.
We like to talk. What can I fucking
But I'm
say?
glad we said a lot about every record.
I wish you talked more though. Let's be to be honest with you. If this was a 2-hour video, I would watch all the way through. I think you should make another video, make it 2 hours, just because.
I'm
Exactly.
glad that we finally got this done. And if you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like.
And you know what, guys? Oh man, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm gonna have more fun editing this though, but I think, you know, maybe sometime July this video will see the light of day, hopefully, ideally. And around that time too, of course, 3 Days Grace is coming out with their next album in August. I cannot fucking wait. You have no idea. I'm seeing them October. I bought a signed vinyl. I need to buy some merch. So I can't. I just simply cannot wait to see them live. And this was a lot of fun. I am seriously, no joke, gonna give my PC a break, but go on my phone and watch some more of the Geeky Comrade, which I believe this is his channel. Ooh, the Geeky Comrade Gaming. Ooh. I got some more videos to watch. That's fun. I love that. Yeah, you know, Geeky Comrade, keep pumping out videos, man. I want to see more, and maybe one day I'd love to talk rock with you. I would love to talk some 3 Days Grace. You know, maybe once that new album comes out, or you know, if you actually, I don't know if you actually will watch this video, and if you watch all the way through, man, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. If it was fucking anyone who needed to watch this video, it would be my friend and then you guys. That would be the ones who I would want to watch this video. I primarily talk about Godzilla over here, so if you're into Godzilla and the MonsterVerse version of Godzilla, you know, that is your, this is going to be your cup of tea type of channel. But if not, talk about other topics like music. Not going to happen very often on this channel. I apparently stick with Godzilla. And then, you know, here and there I'll be talking about some 3 Days Grace, of course. But yeah, so yeah, that is my time, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. We're going to close it out here. And as always, stay awesome.
In my mind, worlds collide. Something inside me is gone. Still I keep going on.